and welcome back to another episode of The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, the show where I, the curator, discuss my personal favorite show of all time, personal favorite franchise of all time, Doctor Who. And yes, this episode is coming out a bit late, mainly because of scheduling conflicts, but don't worry, I'm trying to stay mostly on top of it. I'm going to really rush to do the next episode, but it was all worth it. It was all worth it because I got to do this whole month with my very special guest that I'm really excited I got to book for all 4 episodes of this month, Mr. Ryan Payne. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing very well. Yes, scheduling conflicts aside, this is good. I mean, any other opportunities I get to find to watch, I mean, to talk about Doctor Who is good.
Yeah. And of course, as it happens with these scheduling conflicts, we kind of missed the whole week of birthdays. But not to worry, we're going to just cover the week we missed, and then get into of the week right after the week we're supposed to do. So we are counting down from the 20th of February all the way to the 26th, and we actually got a couple of interesting ones. Most notably, one of the people we're actually going to be talking about today, because on the 20th was the birthday of one Miss Anjali Mohindra, who of course played Rani Chandra on Sarah Jane Adventures, and she also played the Skithra Queen in the Jodie Whittaker episode Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, and she's got like 20, 30 credits on Big Finish. Actually, let me just check out the full number. Oops, actually, there is no way to verify the number, but she does a lot. She does a lot of stuff on Big Finish. Mostly whenever they need an Indian character. It's like every time they need an Indian character, it's either her or Mina Anwar, which we're also going to talk about today. So that's very interesting right there. Now, also on the 20th, this is actually pretty interesting. Usually I have Snark for these, but are you also a Buffy fan?
I'm not actually. I'm a fan of the spin-off series Angel, but I'm not a fan
Hmm.
of Buffy.
So you're not a fan. You're not familiar with Anthony
Oh,
Head.
I'm familiar with Anthony Giles. Other than like with him, Buffy, I've seen him in other projects, including
Okay,
most recently with Ted Lasso.
yeah, because usually Snark loses his mind whenever we talk about Anthony Head. So of course, I mean he played.
There's something else. There's been another movie. There was another something else he was in that's honestly at the top of my tip of my tongue. But let's keep going.
Yeah, he was in. He was Brother Lassa, or rather Mr. Finch, in the episode School Reunion, which kind of features the character we're going to talk about here anyway. But more notably, he also played the villainous character Balthazar in the animated episode ish, The Infinite Quest. Did you ever hear about this one?
The Infinite Quests.
It's like this animated 12-part thing that they had on Doctor Who related. Uh,
Oh, I just pulled it up. Okay. No, I have not heard of it, but
yeah,
but I am reading the the synopsis right now. Okay.
it was a very interesting, and I really liked it. He also appeared in all three of the Excellus series on Big Finish, which of course was the introduction to Big Finish of Iris Wildtime, and he also narrated a bunch of Doctor Who related stuff. So that's pretty interesting,
Hmm.
right there. And I think this is the third person for the 20th, Mister Ian Scoons. First of all, love the name. Just straight off the bat. He's a special effects man. He's a special effects and visual effects designer for actually a lot of episodes. Let's see. Shakedown, Return of the Sontarans. That's a spin-off ish thing. He also did Ambassadors of Death, The Curse of Peladon. Love that one. Pyramids of Mars, The Mask of Mandragora, The Invisible Enemy, the debut of K9, of course, and City of Death. And he also was an assistant on Colony of Space and Planet of the Spiders. So quite interesting list right there. The third person for the 20th, a lot of people on the 20th apparently, Lauren Ambrose. She, of course, was in the infamous Torchwood series we do not talk about as Jilly Kitzinger, but she appeared in almost all the episodes, I believe. So, yep, it's something. It's definitely something. On to a happier note, because I just heard the massive sigh coming from your end. We have on the 21st, Mr. Sean Dingwall, who, of course, played
All right.
Pete Tyler, the father of Rose Tyler, and actually continues to play that role on Big Finish in the Rose Tyler Dimension Canon series, which is a very interesting series, if I do say so myself. On the 23rd, Mr. Jerry Davis, co-creator of the Cybermen, wrote a lot of the very important Cybermen stories and a lot of other real very important Doctor Who stories as well. He's also a script editor on a lot of the black and white era Doctor Who stories, and yeah, his name in Doctor Who carries a lot of weight. Also on the 23rd, another person that has been in a bunch of Doctor Who stories. Let me just get the name right. Bernard K. Right here. Uh, he was in the Dalek Invasion of Earth, the Crusade, the Faceless Ones, Colony in Space, and on Big Finish he was in Night Thoughts and what is that? Oh, that's Doctor Who: The Lost Episodes. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting indeed. Probably worth a look into later. And speaking of Dalek stuff, on the 24th, Mr. David Gooderson, who played Davros in Destiny of the Daleks. He also did a couple of Dalek voices for that one as well. He also appeared in two Big Finish stories. Three Big Finish stories: Buried Secrets in Snowblind and Fatal Consequences. Very nice there. And speaking of Big Finish, we have Miss on the 25th, Miss Sadie Miller. Can you guess her Doctor Who connection before I lose my breath?
Well, I'll give you a few moments. I will just pause for dramatic purposes because honestly, I don't know, but I want to give you some time to catch your breath.
Okay, thank you. She is the daughter of Elizabeth Sladen.
Oh,
And she plays Sarah Jane Smith on several Big Finish episodes featuring the character on Big Finish, mostly as part of the Third Doctor adventures, and she also plays a couple of other characters on Big Finish as well. And
okay.
on the 25th, again, I always laugh whenever we come up to one of these, but George Harrison from the Beatles, of course, they kind of appeared in an episode of The Chase, but for whatever reason, in re-releases, the BBC removed that scene, and I'm mad because it's a really funny scene and I love it. But BBC being what they are. But yeah, so the Beatles. What are you gonna do? No joke. Two different doctors have appeared in Beatles biopics. Did you know that?
Well, I knew about George Harrison. Was the other one Ringo?
What? No. I'm talking about the doctors who appeared in
Oh,
movie
okay.
biopics.
I was thinking reverse, like which the Beatles that showed up in a Doctor Who.
They played a clip from one of the Beatles' performances in a Hartnell era episode because they were very relevant at the time. But like I said, the BBC removed it. But did you know? But I mean, Eccleston and Capaldi both appeared in separate biopics about John Lennon.
Okay,
So
well, that's interesting.
yeah, on the 26th, we have Miss Ingrid Oliver, who of course played the character of Petronella Osgood on the Doctor Who TV show, and has continued to play that character on the Unit Big Finish series, where, in my opinion, she actually got a lot better. But I mean, hey, that's just my personal opinion. And finally, on the 26th, we have Mr. Tony Selby. He, of course, played the iconic character Sabalom Glitz in the Trial of a Time Lord series, as well as a reappearance in Dragonfire. He, of course, is the character that eventually ended up taking Melanie Bush with him. Of course, he was mentioned in The Giggle
Hmm.
in one of the more recent episodes. According to Mel, he lived to about 103, so good for
I
him.
thought it was 101. Okay.
100 and something. For some reason, I had 103 on my mind. But yeah, actor himself passed away in 2021. So, you know, sadly, he could have been in Big Finish as that character, but uh,
And he
can't.
got old.
What?
He got older. I mean, he
I mean,
not much you can
he
do
could
about
have played an older Glitz, but I mean, the way the direction they took the character on Big Finish
that.
probably couldn't. So it is what it is. So for the wonderfully long list of people we had today, oops, thank you all. We quite literally could not do this without you. And speaking of people we quite literally could not do this show without, the people of color in Doctor Who. I mean, case in point, the first episode was directed by a person of color, and we are going to talk about him today, and as well as a whole bunch of other people of color. And this was supposed to go out on one of the last few days of Black History Month, but like we said earlier, scheduling conflicts. But be that as it may, we have a nice list of about 70 something people, as you can see right here. Now, of course, I didn't pick every single person of color to ever appear in Doctor Who. Only just the ones that really made a strong impression. Only the ones that I think are very noticeable from the classic, from the modern, and even a few from the expanded media
Yeah.
area. And this list even features a couple of people we haven't even talked about in our last few episodes because of the specific categories that we talked about. So this will be pretty interesting. Now, of course, this is a tier ranking list with 5 tiers. Of course, the S tier, the woman who walked the earth, who, of course, referencing Martha Jones. The greatest men in the galaxy. Of course, it says men, but just assume it's directed at all genders. Of course, a reference to the greatest show in the galaxy, the episode that this show is named after, which of course featured the Ringmaster, who is somewhere over here. A lot of people.
Maybe he'll pop up when we start doing this.
Yeah, probably, probably. The right there in the middle is local knowledge, of course. The nickname that the 12th Doctor gave to Rigsy, which we talked about. Life's like that. Best thing is not to worry about it. It's the final words mentioned by the actor who played Jeffrey on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which we discovered live on air. That was a bit embarrassing for the two of us. And you look, there's the Ringmaster right there.
All right.
And of course, the final tier, you could not have picked this better. It's the Tin Dog, which is, kind of what Mickey saw himself as before you broke out of that bit of shell or chrysalis, if you will. So, what do you say we get this started? Now, of course, as you may have noticed, I did not organize these by timeline of appearances or anything. Just, I felt like, hey, I'll upload all the pictures at once, and whichever order the website decides to put them in is the one I'm going with. And I think this actually keeps the list a bit more interesting. Sort of like you don't know what's coming next.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we're going to be going one at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, we are going one at a time, but it's not like we're doing one at a time for period.
Yeah, we're jumping all over the place, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Wouldn't have it any other way. And of course, the first one we are going to talk about is actually the first ever companion of color. Sharon Davis, who of course appeared in the Doctor Who magazine, starting in the Star Beast, and then continued on to travel with the Fourth Doctor for a couple of stories, aged in the process because of some weird wibbly wobbly timey wimey stuff. But she actually stuck around for a significant amount of time for a comic companion. So it's very noticeable and very worth mentioning. Now, of course, the character herself was then adapted into the Big Finish adaptation of the Star Beast, and in the TV adaptation of the Star Beast in the 60th anniversary specials, her character was replaced by Rose Noble. But I mean, the character's legacy still stands strong. I would say she definitely made an impact, and yeah, she was a fun character to watch. I mean, there was a different flavor of a companion at the time. Of course, because of certain rights issues, they couldn't have TV companions in the comics. So I feel like they made a very creative decision there. So, have you had time, by the way, to check out the comics since we last talked about it, or anything?
I have not, honestly. And I did come across a couple of links that did have a few panels of the comic, but not like in a complete full read through. One I came across, unfortunately, said I need to, do like a full subscription, which include, paid method. And I'm
Mm.
like, I'm not paying to look at comic books, especially if I'm not going to be taking advantage of it. Because I already have a hard time keeping up with the subscriptions for streaming services I have. So that was one I'm like, not right now.
Derek. Yeah, I totally understand. Oh, you got that?
Maximum Derek, yeah.
All right. So, what do we say about Sharon Davis? And since I'm the only one who knows the character, I think her status as the first ever companion of color, and the fact that the comics beat the show to that punch by several decades, it cannot be overlooked. So I would, and also very fun character in my opinion. So I'm gonna say here the A tier. She's not an S tier in my opinion, not an S tier character, but I'd say she's an A. From what I told you about this character, do you agree? Disagree?
No, I mean I actually do agree with you, especially seeing with that, at least in the comic media, her character was meant to be like the first person of color companion for the Doctor, and especially it was for Tom Baker's Doctor. Even though the story was adapted for David's 14th Doctor, at least some of the characters, at least some characters from that original comic were adapted. I still like the fact that this original one still exists.
Me too. And exists in two different versions of her. Now, the next one isn't really a specific character, just several characters, more so a species. The Sorry, I just blanked on the name for a second. Too many. I just went over a list of different species in my head. So yeah, the Movellans from Destiny of the Daleks. Saying, well, hey, we talked about this episode in the birthday section. The birthday section was very prevalent in today's episode. But yeah, of course, not all of them were people of color, but for some reason, a lot of them were. And I don't think this carried over to their big finish appearances in the Dalek universe storyline. But I mean, I just love the fact that um, they basically made an entire species of it. Of course, they were only in one episode on the TV show, but they definitely made an impact. Not so much with the episode itself, but more so because of events that happened in the episode. Of course, they were in a war with the Daleks, the Dalek Movellan War, which was featured slightly in the pilot episode, the first episode of Capaldi's last season. And in their appearance on the Destiny of the Daleks, they eventually created a virus to attack the Daleks, and essentially they beat the Daleks in a long and fruitful war, fruitless war. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, they beat the Daleks, not necessarily in a way you would expect, but they were pretty significant, and then that's something that really carried over to some of the other Dalek stories that came after it. Of course, in the episode itself, the Daleks had to do something pretty desperate, which is actually go back and find Davros and revive him so we can help lead them in this war. And of course, they still lost because that whole thing led to some Daleks following Davros and some Daleks not following Davros, which led to the Dalek Civil War
Mhm.
and all that. But it kind of all stemmed from this one, uh, uh, let's call it a canon event, a fixed point in time and space, which was the Movellan virus. So, did anything I say help sway your
No,
decision?
well, actually, they did, especially since even though this was a one-off villain appearance, the fact that they were like very formidable enough to really challenge the Daleks and, as you said, beat them, really does bring them up higher in the tier for me. But but for me, I think a part of me would still throw them on local knowledge because I wish I knew more in the context.
So, did my informative talk helped with your local knowledge?
It did. It did.
But
It did. Yes, I'm saying it did because even though I still would have put them on local knowledge, I mean, I'm willing to bump them a little bit higher into the greatest in the galaxy.
really,
I don't see them as S tier because I don't know much about them outside of what I've read and what you've told me.
I mean, and I don't know much about them besides that one episode in the TV show. They have their whole thing in the Big Finish stuff. Like I said, the Dalek Universe storyline, which I have not listened to because it's ridiculously expensive.
Hmm.
But they stuck around for a bit, and that whole storyline, it features like David Tennant's 10th Doctor in an alternate universe meeting Davros and an alternate version of River Song. It's a whole thing, but like I said, lots of monies. So I'm willing to say local knowledge, but at the very top of local knowledge for the remainder of this show. Do you agree?
Jesus Christ! I'm sorry. There's like a truck outside making
I
noise.
heard.
But
I did not hear that. You muted just as you were saying it. Okay.
let's just move on. I was saying let's just keep going.
Yeah. Thank goodness for the pause button. Let's just put it that way. So, top of local knowledge, and they're going to stay at the top of that particular tier for a while. And the next one, I'm actually curious to see what you think about this one because, I mean, doesn't even have a name for some reason, but it's Bill's mom
Ah,
from Capoli's last season. I mean, like I said, didn't even bother to give her a name, but they made the character extremely important in Bill's life story. So much so that even this picture right here, the doctor went back in time and took pictures of her so she could have something to remember her by. And eventually, her imagining her mom is what kept her sane under the rule of the monks and what helped her keep her humanity when she became a Cyberman. So I'd say it's very, very impactful character overall.
I mean, obviously, look, I mean, there's not much can be said. You're right. I mean, it's more than just the photo of herself and her being used as the tool, but it's also the memory of her that helped keep Bill going during the monk's occupation. I mean, outside of before she can find the doctor, she felt she was the only one who knew the truth. And the one takeaway I could take from that episode is I kind of wanted to see certain days. I wanted to see some filming in that episode where we saw Bill truly struggling to where the conversations, and I'm saying in air quotes, she had with her mom were the things that were keeping her together. Like I wanted to see more of that. I mean, it's not going to take away the importance of her mother, but it would have added more depth to Bill's character to where she would have just, especially when she confronts the doctor, who at the time, who when with the lie saying that he's helping the monks, it would have added more to that moment for her, just for Bill's character. And I'm saying this does not take away from her mother at all. But the
Hmm.
fact for Bill, not knowing her mother, at least her biological mom, was something to that really. It was something for her to figure out her identity, like who is she exactly?
Yeah, and Bill finding her identity was a big part of her character arc all throughout that one season, which I wish we got to see more from Bill, but spilled milk at this point. So where are we putting Bill's mother? I would
I
go ahead.
would. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was thinking local knowledge. What about you?
Same here. I was thinking local knowledge myself.
Yeah, because again, I think she's the definitive middle of the road. She's very impactful, but very sparsely seen on the show.
True. No, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. And something that I think both of us will be quite very, very easily forgettable characters: Joshua and Abigail Naismith. Do you even
Yeah.
remember these two?
Well, yeah. From the first part of the end of time.
Yeah, and kind of also the second half. I think Rassilon puts it right and says it right when he's talking about those two in the episode, referring to them as idiots and fools. It's like, why are they even in this episode to begin with? What's their contribution besides getting that gate that helps the master take over the world? Like, I don't know. I love David Harewood. I love David Harewood. Don't get me wrong, but why is he in this episode?
Well, it's a special, but even then, I think look, one thing with most of the British actors that are like well known to some of us in America through certain properties, when we see them pop up in shows like Doctor Who, even in small roles, honestly, it's just something that we just have to accept and move on. I mean, something that unfortunately that a lot of fans can't accept. But honestly, it was to me. This doesn't hurt or anything to me. I mean, I would put them in the Tin Dog because narratively speaking, they did some. And for the character, honestly, it did. It. I don't know why I'm expanding on this. Their characters were just there for the plot to
Yeah,
capture the master, have them fix something they thought was, have them fix a piece of technology they didn't even understand, only to have other aliens, the
uh,
Benvachi,
Vinvachi. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, they have the Benvachi who also trying to steal that immunity gate back. So
Oh
honestly,
my
to me,
God, she's a cactus.
that's racist. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
No, but even then, it's just kind of like they're just characters. Honestly, their color is their role is kind of something where their skin color really has no effect or importance on in the
yeah,
script.
yeah,
So yeah, they're just
and
the tin dog.
yeah, they're just a tin dog. Now, oops, he got up.
Sorry, I'm just turning on some backlights.
Oh, okay,
So
because I'm
I don't have to have
actually.
my ring light keep shining in my face.
Here's the thing. I think you're gonna have a lot to say about this character right here. Do
Oh,
you do you remember her?
hold on, I'm trying to put the episode in mind. Oh boy,
Do you want me to just tell you?
I know the actors. But yeah, go tell me.
It's the girl from Face the Raven whose mother died, and then they framed
Mm,
Rigsy for it.
wait.
Yeah, you had some strong words when we talked about her in the about Rigsy specifically when we did that episode. But do you still have those strong words, or can you not talk because of the truck again?
Well, it's a forklift that I just saw, but I can still talk. Honestly, it might to me with the Rixie, the whole thing just fell down to narration. It has nothing to do with the characters, but her role, unfortunately, I can't remember exactly in the episode if she actually saw. Rigsy do anything to her mom instead of just more. I think she just said she just saw him near her body, and if that was the whole point, then at least for her character, I can get to where she's like, okay, I see somebody over my mom who's now dead, so of course she's gonna. It's an emotional response. I understand that, but still, to me, my issue with the whole episode was mainly just the narration over Rigsy's involvement, or at least the the stupid plan to lure the doctor. I mean,
It was
there
a
were
stupid
better,
plan.
huh?
It was a stupid plan. I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, it was not just a stupid plan, but it was a terribly thought out plan because once again, this street of people, of aliens who are trying to hide from the world and live normal lives, they risk exposure not just by erasing the human's memory, but holding a hatred, holding a grudge against him. So the one person, and honestly, when the doctor was shouting at me, saying he will expose that street, I was really on the doctor's side. I was like, really expose them if they're gonna be this. If they're going to be this blindly hate, if they're going to be blindly hate, if they're showing that blind hatred towards Riggsy, even though it was out of fear, but to me, it was kind of at that point, he might as well just expose that neighborhood, bring them into the public, and just have them deal with true. But that was like me with hate, with angry thoughts over how stupid the narrative was. I have
Yeah,
nothing bad about her character. I mean, it did look to me later on in the episode she started coming around, especially when it was discovered her mom was really never dead in the first place.
yeah, and the whole part about her having two faces and two heads. One can see the future, and one can see the past, and that's how they essentially cleared Riggsy's name.
Yeah,
But to be fair to the people on the street, they didn't want to get exposed. It was all because of me. I
yeah.
mean, Maisie Williams'
I know who
character.
you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about. But to some people, they might. If you're watching this show and if you're watching this show right now and you're familiar with Doctor Who, and when we're specifically talking about this character in Face the Raven, when you hear the words "me," we're referring to Maisie Williams' character as Shielda.
Yeah, I had to clarify that for the people watching. Uh, but while we're on the subject, well, while this picture's still up on the screen, you said you know the actress. Do you remember the who the actress is?
Isn't that Letitia Wright?
Oh yes, definitely. Yep. I was actually I actually wanted to see if I can trip you up on that, but nope, you got me there. But that being said, where are we putting her?
Um, honestly, put her. I'd put her below local knowledge, honestly, because unfortunately, she was a plot device, not an actual character.
Yeah, I was actually gonna suggest that. So, as the tier says, life's like that. Best thing is just to move on with it. Okay, I think we've got ourselves a couple of S tiers coming up. The Master,
Hmm.
Sasha Dewan. I mean, if you're if we're talking about the Master or the Doctor, I think that's an automatic S tier. Am I right?
Yes, I throw him in S. I mean, some of the writing around Sasha's master, honestly, Chibnall, I don't think he had no idea what he was handling with him, especially given after the great character nuance that we had with Michelle Gomez as Misty. The fact that Chibnall just reverts him back to simply an evil man, just like a I won't say psychotic, but Sasha Dewan, at least in the writing, made him psychotic. But Sasha Dewan gave so many levels of nuance to his performance, at least later on when he's face to face with Jodie Whittaker. You do see a mixture of someone who's, especially with his destruction of Gallifrey, someone who felt betrayed, a bit of self loathing that's there, and how it's fueling his actions. You can really see deep down this is a master who, at least from Missy's standpoint, was close to on the peak of being reformed. And there's a little bit in his performance where you can tell there's still a little bit of those complex feelings for the doctor that he has. But because of Chibnall's stupid idea of the timeless child, you do see it's a little difficult to now where he's all about just wanting to get one up on the doctor.
Yeah, see, for me, as a Doctor Who fan, the way I'm reading this, it's like because Missy was the closest to get reformed, as you said, the one after her, assuming it really is the one immediately after Missy, because Stephen Moffat writing himself into a corner as per usual. John Sim killed Missy and she can't regenerate. So how are we going to get out of that one? I think part of this master's reversion back to what you didn't say it, but I will. The psychotic master is like wanting to be as different from Missy as possible, like completely on the other side, but yet still entirely the master.
I
That's
don't know if he's as different as Missy, though. I mean, Missy still
with
was,
relation to the doctor specifically, with
yeah,
how
and
they were both treated the doctor, because obviously every master and doctor relationship is different. Like you watch the Pertwee and Delgado relationship, yeah, Delgado's the master still wants to kill him, but there's a certain level of respect of
yeah.
honor that they both share, which is wildly different from the John Sim David Tennant relationship, and
Or
of
with
course the Peter Capaldi Michelle Gomez relationship,
Anthony Anley and his at least his version of the Master.
and all the four doctors that he encountered. But if we want to put Big Finish into context here, of course, there's the Missy Big Finish series that came out where basically Missy kind of had her own version of the Valyard, where in an alternate timeline when Missy was very close to dying and regenerating, she kind of did this. I can't remember what the name of the thing was, but it was kind of removing all the evil from her and regenerating into a good side of her called the Lumiat. And the this was Missy before she met the 12th Doctor, and she resented that very idea. So she killed her future self. Stop me if you heard that one before. And then that future self regenerated again. We don't know to who. Presumably, that's the way at least I put it in my head, is that it was that version of the Lumiat that regenerated into the Sasha Dewan Master. That's why he reverted back to this psychotic, unhinged, almost Joker-like master that we saw.
There's a lot of yarn to wrap around. I mean, I pretty much naturally assumed the Time Lords in their pocketed universe found the Master, or at least were able to sense Missy, took her body out of time and brought him back to Gallifrey, where she regenerated into Sasha Dewan. That's what I mainly got. I mean, one thing about Moffat with his writing, as much as I don't like it, he at least tries to have a completionist idea, like give you an idea of before, middle, and end. Never works out. Doesn't work out a lot. But at least he's trying to give answers most of the time. Chibnall, unfortunately, one of my big answer was, once Dewan was revealed as the Master in season 12, what happened to him? How did Missy survive? Which version of this is him? You know?
Yeah. And
or, I mean, in a weird sense, is this Sasha Dewan from John Sim? Because technically, like, even though John Sim, and even though he knows Johnson's master, at least in World and Time, knows that Missy is his future, it's not really truly clarified if Missy came after John Sim. Maybe Sasha Dewan came after John Sim.
And then Missy.
Yeah.
Or several others down the line.
But we'll never know, because we're never going to find a writer who's going to really close that gap. And of course, Russell T has definitely teased the Master is going to come back in some form, maybe in his series with Shooty.
I mean, yeah, he was mentioned in the Giggle. He was with the Toymaker.
Well, yeah, Toymaker said he played a game against the Master. The Master was at his wit's end, and he sealed him in a gold tooth. And then we saw that tooth was taken. And so there is a sense that the Master is still out there.
Yeah. But, what's Chibnall's answer to how the Master came back?
Same answer with the Flux. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, who cares? It's like, I think it's even in the episode. How is this possible? Does it even matter? That's his answer. and that's kind of his answer to a lot of things. And from one Chibnall creation
Especially with a timeless child.
yeah, yeah. And from one Chibnall creation to another, speaking of the timeless child, the fugitive doctor.
I think on
Now,
strength of performance and character alone, I'd want to put her S tier.
me too. She's great.
Yeah.
And you know what? Both her and Sasha Dewan's Master are getting their own Big Finish series, so we could learn more about them now. And
Yeah.
maybe we can finally get some writers who will actually be willing to tackle some of the questions we were denied with Chibnall.
Especially with this whole thing that was left with the flux with Division and her doctor and the parting that was one of her traveling companions. I'd be very interested with her version of the doctor, what led her to crash to go on Earth, unfortunately into her own timeline to meet a future version of herself.
Yeah. So
And also, that's one thread. That's also one loose thread that's still out there. After she and Jodie Whittaker departed after episode 7, her doctor, even though we don't know what happened to her doctor, she ended up going back into her own timeline, or is she now existing in this new timeline? I mean, or is she existing in this time period? But also, there's still that artificial intelligence the doctor created that also had a version of her.
yeah,
So there is a
could
huge window to bring her back, but I don't know if Davis is going to do that.
could she meet David Tennant's 14th Doctor now?
I mean, the AI is out there. I'm pretty sure the AI could meet David Tennant's
Oh no,
14.
the well, I mean, the AI is kind of injected into the companion.
No, no. She initially created that AI into the TARDIS just in case. Remember in Power of the Doctor, she created that just in case the situation happened to where the Doctor herself was in a situation she couldn't save herself from.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it could show up in the TARDIS again. That's an interesting point you bring up. But either way, she's the top of S tier for now. So
Yes.
all this extra fluff doesn't mean much. But oh my goodness, it's I've only watched this episode once.
Speaking of
So
fluff,
what?
no, I'm just like I thought it was a lean into for your next reveal.
No, it's just I've only watched this one. I think her name is uh Cherry Sunday, the grandmother from the church on Ruby Road. Is her name Cherry? I think it's Cherry.
Oh, I think. Damn,
Either way, uh, really fun
great character.
character. Yeah,
I like her character.
Soda would put her in S if he was here, but he's not. So, what do we think of her?
I don't know about S, but I would put her top in A. I put her in the A tier.
I agree. I mean, from the
I
limited
mean,
amount of
maybe from her
people,
simple introduction, I get it. She's just be like, oh yeah, she's she's an old woman, in a bed, but at the same time, how she just rolls with the punches,
yeah,
and even though she's fixated on her tea, she's not really she's not really distracting anything, and she's not really taking away anyone's time. And I loved her interaction with Shuti. And then, of course, you do see how different she is in that time period when Ruby was removed from the timeline. She's even though she was an old woman in bed before she was removed, she was still very energetic, had a great loving relationship with her daughter, and she loved every single one of the adoptive children Ruby's mom had taken under her wing. But then, of course, you see in this new one, she does look like an old, frailing woman in her bed, slowly dying,
mm-hmm.
with a resentful
Decaying.
daughter.
Yeah. So, just how much character that she was able to bring without even moving too much, like staying in the same place.
Yes.
She got so much energy into that episode.
Yeah, and the fact, even though she was talkative, I mean, I understand, like, some people don't like, oh, she's just an old woman who's very talkative in her bed. I'm sorry, man, but it's the way that her energy was. She
Yeah.
had joy in herself. She was, I think, maybe a little flirty with Shooty's doctor, a little bit.
A
But
little? A little?
But no, but even then, like even the love that you saw her with Ruby and with Ruby's mom, like that is a woman. Even though she's, it looks like her body's like portraying her, she's still like, I have a great family in my life, and she has something. That's a woman who has something to live for,
Yeah,
compared to in that one where Ruby was taken away. That looks like a woman who has nothing to live for.
yeah. It's like, why am I still here?
Mm-hmm.
So I put her below Sharon Davis, but do you want to put her above?
Well, we'll put it right there. Sharon and her will be Sharon and Cherry. They will be the litmus test.
Okay. Now, a character I wish we got to see more of, probably could still happen on Big Finish, not ruling that out, but Liz 10. She's the queen. Basically, she rules.
Ooh, oh boy.
Oh, you did not like that?
On rewatch, her character gets a little weaker, honestly.
Really? Because of the reveal at the end?
To quote one of my favorite comic book movies when it comes to her character, on rewatch, things the point of her character, she it just raises too many questions.
Like what? How did she not know what was going on?
Why?
There,
What was the point of having her memory erased, especially if she was the one, if she was alive during that time when they built their city around this whale? Wouldn't it be her job as the queen to maybe make sure this well is taken care of, that this well that there's maybe looking for alternative ways, because this whole thing of trapping this whale, at the time they thought they were trapping this whale and then and choosing to mentally subject it to torture. If she had not chosen to erase her memory and was still alive, maybe she could have started thinking of questions to where not only are we doing right, is did this whale actually show up as a miracle? Did we actually lure this whale? Like, the point with her character was that I think on rewatch, I'm like, she could have had more information for the doctor if she remembered this knowledge. And even if she did have this knowledge, it would have been very interesting to see her live with this throughout those decades of her body clock being slowed. I
hmm.
would have loved to have seen this. I would have loved to have seen an exchange between her and Matt Smith's doctor, to where she's had this burden on her shoulders. Or maybe, hell, maybe she could have believed that there's somebody in her government trying to undermine her rule with the disappearance of the children.
I mean, that's kind of how her character arc started in the episode. She
Yeah, that's how
thinks
it started, but it would have been more nuanced if she had this knowledge of what the whale was. Maybe she thought someone was trying to like overthrow her. Take this burden away. Maybe do something worse to the whale. Maybe someone in her staff was trying to do something worse, because I don't know. Like, there were so many. I think, like I said on rewatch, so many possibilities could have been with her character, instead of just oh, I'm the queen. She's like, what, a newly elected queen on this station? Oh, twist! You've been queen on this station for the rest of your life. I
yeah.
don't know. This is just one of Moffat's writings where I'm like, was this twist really necessary? It could have just
I'm
been her great great grandmother as queen.
I'm not sure it was Moffat. Hold on, let me
Okay,
see.
maybe not Moffat, but okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just, because he's showrunner, I'm equating him to this. But even then, I'm just saying it didn't have to be this same Liz. She honestly could have just been the great great grandmother of the Elizabeth that was the queen
And
for
daughter.
this. Yes, like she could have been the grandmother or great grand. She could have been the great granddaughter. Sorry, great granddaughter. So then this story could have been more of not only her inheriting a kingdom in space, but also inheriting the tragedy. And what is she gonna do instead of just being the same person?
Yeah,
Like there
and it
could
was Moffat, by the way.
okay. But even then, yeah, I'm still Queen. Because he's showrunner, I'm a Queen Moffat to a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna try
Yeah,
not to do that.
but to my point, Moffat, one of his flaws is he sometimes overwrites the episodes, but one of his pros is that he creates really good characters when
True.
used correctly. So that's why I said earlier, I wish we got to see more of her. Wish we got to see more of this badass gun-toting queen running around, helping people and saving children in the Starship UK. I think that would have been a great idea, and I love that she shows up at the Pandorica Opens episode. But again, I think Moffat is better at creating characters than he is creating episodes, writing stories, I should say.
Well, when I think he's a better writer when he's not a showrunner. Honestly,
Same can be said about Chibnall, though.
yeah. I mean, like
So
if they're only able to just write a single piece in a chapter, I think they're good. But I mean, series five, despite its faults, it's one of my favorite series of Doctor Who. I
hmm,
put series five high above Tennant's run as 10. Even I love 9. I love Chris Eccleston as 9, but even then, series 5 is my favorite.
hmm. I think Series 6 is better. I think that's the best of the Matt Smith series, but to each their own. So where are we putting Liz 10?
Uh, I also want to put her in local knowledge. But where do you want to put her? Because you heard all of my thoughts, but what about your thoughts on her?
Yeah, you know what? My thoughts kind of changed after you said your thoughts, so that's why I asked you first. I wanted to gauge my. Honestly, I think I'm fine with local knowledge because again, great character. What you said is very valid. Wish we got to see more of her. If we
Yeah.
did, I might have bumped her up to the A tier.
Yeah. Honestly, look, I liked her. I liked her introduction in that story. It's just the problem was that twist really brings up too many questions afterwards. Because you're saying that so she invents a mask to slow her body clock, and then she willingly chooses to erase her memory. So then, for decades above this ship, her underlings, or at least the people who are her minions, I'm just gonna say it, minions, are
Mhm.
choosing to burden this knowledge and not give this to the queen because it was the queen's directive. And then it's all undone later on once the children start disappearing because this government does not want these kids asking questions. That really
Yeah,
undermines a lot of her character, who's meant to be the queen, who's supposed to be in the know about this stuff.
yeah,
The
and
fact
I
that the
think
well was saving these children from this government should have been a big sign, honestly.
yeah, and I think this goes to show you, hey, Stephen, not every twist works.
Hmm.
That just goes to show. But I think a kind of a twist that actually worked was Aaron Sinclair, Ryan's dad.
Mm.
Like I like his character by the end. I think the premise of the character is kind of worn out. Like how many times have we already tried this character trope? But I do like the ending that Ryan eventually saves him.
Yeah.
I like
And he's
that.
willing to at least put away some of his resentment. It's not all gone, but for Ryan, it's kind of like he's already lost one of his relatives. He's lost his grand. Like, is he really
Yeah,
going to throw away a potential relationship with his dad?
exactly. And they defeat a Dalek with a microwave toaster oven. So
Well, the oldest Daleks, like the first ever Daleks,
yeah,
before they
reconnaissance Dalek.
yes,
So I'd say this saves him from being a tin dog, but not by much. I think he's above Letitia Wright right here. I'm not hearing a lot of agreement or disagreement.
well, yeah, neither. I mean, if there had been more plans for his character, I mean, clearly he was just there for Ryan Sinclair's story.
Yeah, for a
Um,
one-off.
and also, Graham was. You also do see Graham step up. Really defend the kid, defend Ryan as well. Like tell the dad to be fucking be involved.
Yeah, and I love that he says that Graham says that right to his face to the dad.
Yeah,
Uh, Sadly, not something either of us can contribute much.
yeah,
Anji Kapoor, the we talked about her. She's from the novels. She's from the Eighth Doctor novels, which that is another rabbit hole in and of itself. I still haven't gotten there yet. I'm still making my way through the New Adventures novels, but I mean, she could be one of the greatest characters of all time. Neither of us know because neither of us read the books. So, Tin Dog,
yeah. Tin Dog. Sadly, Tin Dog.
yeah, but above these two because she's actually a companion. Okay, and I'm actually curious to see what you say about this character,
Oh.
Roderick from the Bad Wolf episode.
Well, he plays his character very well. I mean,
Yeah,
and especially knowing
not a
that,
good.
especially knowing that in the satellite episode, unfortunately, there's something out there that's turning all these competitions into deadly competitions. So the fact that he's kind of a survivalist, but he's also an asshole. I mean,
I mean, we talked about it with um the Naismiths from the End of Time episode. They were just brought in to be that particular character. He was just brought on to be an asshole, and like you said, he does it to perfection. So
and then funny thing is, you do see, unfortunately, he gets the sad comeuppance like everybody else in that station where they die to the Daleks.
yep,
I mean,
yeah,
some people depending on their attitude towards him in that episode. So, I mean, the fact that they actually went out of their way to shoot his death, and you don't see him die, but the fact that he's surrounded by the Daleks and he's still whining and screaming and like, "I'm a winner. I shouldn't be here." Like, I'm sorry, dude.
yeah, you
This,
can't do this to me.
yeah, you got what was coming to you. Unfortunately,
Yeah, you made your bed, now sleep in it. And
exactly.
even when he's seeing the Daleks coming at him, yelling "exterminate," he's like, "No, you don't exist." I guess skeptics will be skeptics.
I would
Um,
put him in life like I would put him in lives like that. Honestly,
yeah, life like that. I mean, clearly we both remember him, not for good reasons, but he's memorable. So,
exactly.
so he's not a tin dog. Actually, I think I put him right here because again, it's funny, but unintentionally funny.
It's true.
Yeah. Unfortunately, another character I don't think either of us can contribute. Bliss. She is a companion of the Eighth Doctor in the Time War series. Actually, is she in the Time War or later stuff? I can't remember. But I mean, she's a companion of the Eighth Doctor, which doesn't say much because he's got like 50,000 companions.
Yeah.
But hey, she exists. What can you say?
Well, I mean, I unfortunately have not. I don't look at all the expanded material out there, so I have no opinion on where she fits on the list.
Yeah. So again,
I mean, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't throw her in the Tin Dog, honestly, if she's meant to be. How long was she with the Eighth Doctor on the Big Finish for the time?
a lot from what I've been seeing. He was in like 4 or 5 of the Time War stuff, and maybe some stuff beyond.
I'd put her a little higher.
So life's like that.
Yes. I mean, if anybody watching this wants to go in the comments about some of these characters from the Big Finish, and you want to make your arguments on where you would put them, you are more than welcome to. Unfortunately, I'm just one of those fans who have not who have not listened or read a lot of the expanded material.
And I have, but like I said, the Eighth Doctor is a um, rabbit hole onto himself. So and whatever. Now the Ninth Doctor, though, with Nova, who for some reason only appeared in his first box set on Big Finish because Chris Eccleston had some very strict laws about companions. He's like Rose or nothing, so they kind of gave him a kind of a pseudo companion for the Ravager. Yeah, the Ravagers box set, and he just goes off without her by the end. And you know what? I've listened to that box set a while ago. I remember her character, but she didn't leave much of an impression on me personally.
Uh,
Uh, so this is a case of it's another low on the list, but not because we haven't.
it's not because we think low of the character or the person playing them. It's just
She dies and then somehow comes back by the end. They did some weird stuff with her character on that box set. So kind of makes you wonder why even have this character in the first place when once you actually listen to the thing. But it's a low on the list for me personally. So gonna put her Tin Dog, most mainly because I know her.
Okay.
The top of the thing. Now Carla Langer, which is Clyde Langer's mother from the Sarah Jane Adventures. Uh, you said you did watch Sarah Jane Adventures, did you?
No, only 2 episodes that were at least that was made available in the U.S. Everything else
Mm,
was behind the whole. Oh, you have to live in this region to watch the show, especially when it came to online.
yeah, stupid BBC. Anyway, so I think she's fine. I think I like her. I mean, she's a really good motherly character, and it, watching the show, it's like her relationship with Clyde is enviable. I think it's one of those relationships where most kids would want to have with their moms because of the complicated story of Clyde's family, of his dad leaving and whatnot, which is a whole thing we're going to get to later, anyways. But I'd say she's a very good candidate for the local knowledge tier.
Yeah.
Uh, Now the character Kathika Santini Kadeni
Hmm.
from yes, I remember the full name, from the long game. I mean, she saves the day by the end.
Yeah.
Uh,
And she was also, I mean, she was definitely like one of the workers who was ambitious. Obviously, someone who wanted to be, pretty much the I won't say the corporate yes woman, but she was the company gal to where she wanted to be on the top. But once she discovered everything that was going on, she actually used some of that resentment she had to save the day. And I loved, I forgot that line she says, but I loved it before she hacks into everything and pretty much just destroys the creature.
you should have promoted me years back.
That's it.
Yeah, I think the word you're looking for is workaholic. Is
Okay.
one way of describing her. A worker, an underappreciated workaholic.
Yeah. But she still was still loyal a little bit to the company. I mean, the good thing about the one thing I did love about Eccleston's doctor was he did at least open her mind a little bit to what was
Mhm.
outside
Uh,
of satellite.
oh yeah, you said open her mind.
Not literally, dude. Not literally, man. Come on. I guess I should have said open her eyes, maybe make her see more than just the satellite working there.
Yeah, and
Because they do have that great scene where they are on a survey area of the satellite and they're looking down at Earth.
yeah. Well, one scene that I didn't even notice until a recent rewatch was when Adam was preparing to do the whole thing he did. He's just walking around that whole cafeteria area, and then he sees her coming, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm done. I'm just on my phone." Like for all the times I watched the episode, for some reason I missed that, and I got it in this rewatch. I don't know why I said that. Actually, that's a very awkward tangent to go on, but we'll edit it out in post. But where would you put the Kathica?
Um, I throw in local knowledge actually.
I put her high on the local knowledge,
Yeah,
but I
because
think
she
we
does
both.
make an impact, not just in the story wise, but she does make a true impression. Because I do remember from that episode, even though Rose and Adam are on there when the doctor is investigating, she's at least one of the few workers who kind of not just gets his attention, but is also kind of curious about the doctor herself. I mean, yeah, she shows them everything, the whole point of the implants, how they use the information, everything part of the job. But it's but the fact that she still has that opening curiosity, other than being the workaholic that you said she has, that really does start to it opens her up to realizing that what I'm doing on this satellite is not right. Even so, the doctor leaves her in charge by the time he leaves.
Yeah, and well, we don't need to get into how uh, the Earth ended up after that. Let's put it that way. But next character I want to talk about is kind of a two for one, and it's Cyril Neary again. I mean, again, we talked about him in that episode, like that he played both these two characters.
I mean, this one's
Never,
all you, man.
yeah, because I mean, he played two rather similar characters, mysterious, ambiguous, but we never got more because both the spin-offs got canceled too soon. It's not for different reasons, obviously, but I mean, just the fact that there's this guy. It's like puppeteering things behind the scenes, apparently working for someone else,
Mm-hmm.
and in some depictions, it's also uh, hinted that he could be a version of the Corsair, the Doctor's old drinking buddy.
Hmm.
But again, I mean, I just feel like the lack of closure for this guy in both cases. It's like it's why I keep bringing up this meme again. Like if I had a nickel for every time this guy showed up towards the abrupt end of a Doctor Who spin-off series, I'd have two nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. So I just want more from this guy in Doctor Who proper, not just the spin-offs. But my rant aside, uh, I'd say I think he's the definitive local knowledge. I think I said that's about a lot of characters, but this guy is like I think it's more lack of knowledge than local knowledge. Now, Tanya from the spin-off show Class. Speaking of Doctor Who spin-offs, I think she's all right. I mean, she's not, in my opinion, she's not the standout character in that group. I mean, they basically had an entire episode just about her, and I'm gonna probably make you not want to watch the show even more than I already did. But there was like an episode where these vines took over London and showed up in the appearance of people that of dead people, the people that the characters lost, and for some reason, all the characters kind of got managed to get over the loss pretty quickly, except her, who was, and that's when you learn that she's still mourning the loss of her dad, and she still misses him, and she still can't come to terms with his passing.
Yeah.
I mean, they dedicated an entire episode just for her, just to develop that character. It's kind of sad that out of the group, when the show transitioned into Big Finish, she was kind of the only one that was recast for reasons I'm not 100% sure of, but they still tried, and they did kind of had an entire episode. It's weird. They had an entire episode in the Class Big Finish series talking about how no one sees her, no one really treats her because she's the youngest of the group. They bumped her up a couple of classes or whatever, and this whole episode was just for her to say at the end of the episode, it's like, hey, we all look different, we're all different, it doesn't matter, I'm still the same time. I can't remember the line, but it felt incredibly forced.
Hmm.
But that I don't think takes away from the character. I think she's an A tier character, but not by a whole lot. I think is what I was trying to get to with this tangent that I was on.
Okay. Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest. Hey!
Yeah.
Okay, what's up?
Hey man, how's it going?
Going really good, actually. I was
You enjoy
almost
the
gonna
cruise?
ask Soda for a pause so I can grab some water.
All good. So how was the cruise?
Cruise was fantastic. Made a lot more new friends. So I've already got like
Right.
another group that's already playing ahead for the next one.
Right on.
Cool. And Soda, you showed up just in time for us to talk about Colonel Runaway
I do not recall him.
from A Good Man Goes to War.
Oh yeah.
Just to refresh your memory, I specifically grabbed this. Colonel Menton, I want you to tell your men to run away. What?
This guy.
Those
yeah.
words, run away. I want you to be famous for those exact words. I want people to call you Colonel Runaway. I want children laughing outside your door because they found the house of Colonel Runaway. And when people come to you and ask you if trying to get to me through the people I love is in any way a good idea, I want you to tell them your name.
Right on. Now I do remember now.
Yeah, now, great scene. Did the character make a much of an impact besides just the Matt Smith monologue?
Nope, because I did not remember him coming into the show.
Clearly. Ryan?
Oh, I knew exactly who this character was. I remember we went through a bit of a tip to where we were trying to remember if he was a colonel or a general.
Oh, yeah, and we had to look that up during the show. But yeah, so Life's Like That?
Yeah, I mean, especially after we don't see him after that episode. I mean, Madame Kevorkian pretty much just takes his stead afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like they set him up as this big important character, and then Madame Kevarian is the main big bad by the end. Okay, so now we're back to just a solo me for Faria from The Enemy of the World. First Black woman in Doctor Who with a speaking role, so that's notable. But I think if you remember, we talked about her in the episode that we did, Ryan. It's like the whole part of she was like the second in command to like the most important person on Earth, the president of the world, sort of the president of the world, and she this whole time she was working to undermine him. She joined the resistance and she turned on him. Sadly, she was killed off before she could make any noticeable difference. But she did have her contribution with getting Jamie the job and getting Victoria all set up so they can spy on Salamander in that episode. Yeah. I think first Black woman in Doctor Who, a very, very important role in the episode itself. She was the second in command of the guy, and then she turns on him. She has a couple of really good fight scenes in the episode, which thankfully we can see now because they found all the episodes which were previously missing. So that's a huge plus there. But not much else beyond that.
So I think for me, just basically because I don't know the character, but based on what you said and the historical significance, the lowest I think she should go is local knowledge. Anything above that, I'm cool.
I was definitely agreeing with Soda on this one. Her and local knowledge. I mean, when you explained her to me during the classic spots, the fact that she was not just a strong character, but like you said, she was like another character on this list that was not just there for plot importance, but also because of their closeness to the written of the villain of the episode.
Sorry, I opened the window without meaning to. So above Bill's mom or above Liz 10, where do you want to put her?
I put her above Liz 10 personally.
Works for me.
Now, let's see if you can contribute to the talk conversation about this guy, Daniel Barton from Spyfall. First of all, I mean, Lenny Henry deserves a category unto itself, but we're not talking about the Lenny Henry from the Doctor Who parody spoof thing. We're talking about Lenny Henry playing Daniel Barton, the sort of shall we say Elon Musk character from that episode. Elon Musk-ish.
Elon Musk before the crazy?
I think the crazy Musk was always there. It was just like it was Musk contained. It was Elon Musk was contained.
He released the Musk.
Yes.
It was Diet Musk. No, it was Diet Musk.
And the Musk stinks.
Yeah.
Yep.
getting that one.
All right, so Daniel Barton, what can we say about the founder of War?
I did not see the episode, as you know.
You did not see Spyfall? I thought you said you did.
I
It's the two-parter when the Master shows up.
from which
He was mainly in part one, honestly.
which doctor?
Jodie
Jodie.
Whittaker.
Then no, I only saw the first 6 episodes of her first season.
Okay, yeah, this was series 12, the second season.
Okay, so if you want, you can sit this one out. But Ryan, well, what do you think about him?
Oh man! After the reveal of the Master in part one, honestly, I had to rewatch the episode both back to back, part 1 and 2, and yeah, he really makes no impact afterwards. He clearly wasn't simply just he was just the face of the operation. He was the wool to distract the fam, just so when the reveal of the Master came, it's like, oh, here's the true bad guy.
Yeah, kind of takes a back seat after that.
Mm-hmm. Just like I said with
He's like Bane.
oh man, I could maybe do a 3-page essay on why Bane is actually the villain and not Talia, but even then that could still be ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say just like oh my god, I just forgot them. David Harwood's character from The End of Time.
Oh, the Naismiths, yeah.
Yeah, just like the Naismiths, unfortunately his character, yeah, they're just there for plot conveniences, and kind of like with a few others, I might say they're they're just there for plot. He's just there for plot.
You're both going to be proud of me. The Naismiths and Barton were just there to job for the Master.
Yeah.
Hey,
Great.
hey!
Yeah, you used it in the right context. Woo!
You get it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so Ryan losing himself aside, where are you putting this guy? Should we put him right next to the Naismiths, or do we put him slightly above the Naismiths?
I'd say slightly above, because at least in this episode, he really was treated like as someone to look out for. The fact that MI6 got the doctor to investigate just so they can investigate him, I'd say is a little more important. He wasn't just someone that just appeared out of nowhere like the Naismiths did.
So next to Letitia Wright.
No, I was gonna say still in the Tin Dog, but just above the Naismiths.
Tin Dog, okay.
Yeah.
May I ask what's the meaning behind each tier name?
I mean, the woman who walked the earth. You need me to explain that?
I'm assuming that's Whittaker.
No, that's Martha.
Yeah, you do need to explain it. You do need to explain it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so apparently I didn't need to explain it, but I mean, it's Martha Jones.
Yeah.
The greatest men in the galaxy is from the greatest show in the galaxy. It's a reference to the Ringmaster, who we just found him a minute ago and lost him again. Local knowledge is Rigsy from the Capaldi episode. There's the Ringmaster. The Capaldi episodes. Actually, you know what? We're gonna get to him eventually anyway. Where is he? Where's Rigsy? Damn it. And Life's Like That is this guy, the guy that neither me nor Ryan knew was actually the butler from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and that's
shocked me as well when you told me.
Yeah, and I think the Tin Dog. I think you remember where that's from. There's Rigsy. Found him. So, any better? You're both muted. I can't with this.
No, sorry. It's just I'm having lunch. I apologize. Yeah, no, that works for me.
Okay, cool. Where are we? Oh, now I was contemplating whether or not I should put this character on here, but then again, she was kind of the villain of the episode, and it's a very interesting story she had with her mom. So I just decided to go ahead and put both of them together in the same category. It's the mom and the child from Fear Her.
Yeah.
Now, again, I was contemplating whether or not I should put both of them, because one of the things I wanted was I don't want to just have any person from old Doctor Who, any person of color from old Doctor Who in it, but I feel like they were significant enough to
Mhm.
be in here.
They were more of an they were more of an antagonist more than a full on villain like some of these are.
I mean, the villain was the creature that inhabited her body,
Exactly. Yeah.
but I mean, her performance in that episode was haunting.
Mm-hmm.
The little
Just that
girl.
picture alone.
Oh, sorry, hold on. I was gonna say I don't think it's just the creature that was in her body, but it was the imagination that the creature was fueling. Unfortunately, a side effect.
Hmm.
Like, unfortunately, the creature was just inside the body of a child that was dealing with just unfortunately a broken family, and the child unfortunately had no idea how to handle it, including the mom didn't know how to comfort her child. So it was clear this creature was feeding off a lot of dark, like angry emotions from the little girl that really caused a lot of the craziness happening. But
Yeah.
the creature did it. But even then, I would say you would have to include them because they are prominent in the episode because she is a vehicle for the Doctor, at least Tennant's Doctor, to open up more to Rose.
Because the episode doesn't work without both of them.
No, it doesn't. And her character is very important because she removes the Doctor from reality, traps her into one of her drawings to where the Doctor has
And the TARDIS.
Yeah, the Doctor and the TARDIS removes both of them from reality to where Rose is just stuck to figuring things out. And you do see how Rose has to act on her own without the Doctor at all.
Yeah. And she does eventually save the day.
Yeah. But even then, even when it comes down to powering up the ship and having to confront at least in the child's mind, what her father was like, it really came down to like a lot of closure. I mean, the episode itself is kind of ridiculous, but
Yeah.
at least in series 2, I would put it above some of the more ridiculous episodes in series 2.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorites in series 2.
You just took a council axe from a council van, and now you're digging up a council road. I'm reporting you to the council.
How dare you?
Hey, that's Snark's thing. Don't steal that from him.
All right.
Okay, so Life's Like That, local
Yeah, I wouldn't
knowledge.
put this one very high up on the list for sure. Life's Like That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and right there is good because I think they played more of a role in the episode than the other.
Because unfortunately, the whole episode is about family trauma, a mother trying to reconnect with her daughter.
Yeah.
So the episode, there is more to it. It was just kind of in a way badly executed.
And it gave us David Tennant lighting the Olympic flame.
Yay!
Yes.
Which, by the way, real world stuff, the Doctor did help carry the torch in the 2012 Olympics. It was just Matt Smith who did it.
Yeah. And there was a petition for David Tennant to actually do that, but it didn't work out.
Because petitions always work, right?
Yeah, they're still positioned to get The Last Jedi removed from.
You're still going with that?
I don't remember if it was a petition or if it was.
I remember there was at least during the time there was a petition for people were making a petition for Disney to remove The Last Jedi, not just from theaters but from shelves, so it would never be released on physical media. They wanted to get rid of it entirely, and I think the petition is still there. It's just not as strong as it was during that time.
Yeah.
So dumb.
I think
it just shows.
I think a few years ago,
fans are petty for certain reasons.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think a couple of years ago, John Campea actually started a petition to remove petitions to get rid of all of these online petitions, and then someone did a online petition to get rid of John Campea's petition to get rid of petitions.
Nice.
That's how desperate people are sometimes. Anyway, so I don't think either one of you would recall the character Zebra.
Oh, from the heist episode.
Yeah, Time Heist. She's kind of a shapeshifter. She can change into people when she touches them. This could also be a wider category for Pippa Bennett Werner herself, who played the character in the episode, but she's got a lot of bigger presence in Big Finish. She does a lot of Big Finish stuff. I mean, she played Princess Guinevere in Big Finish in Rory the Last Centurion. Put that into perspective. So imagine Rory as this plastic centurion at Camelot as one of King Arthur's knights, with her as Princess Guinevere. And couple that with her character from Time Heist.
I think I'm just going to rely on the knowledge I have of her from Time Heist. Honestly,
Yeah, me too.
So what do you have to say about her? Because I just geeked out about her being Guinevere.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember much about her. Like I've seen the episode, I know what it's about and stuff, but I don't remember her.
Okay. Well, what I do recall from Time Heist is I did like. I mean, if the whole thing wasn't truly rushed in one episode, if this was broken apart in a two-parter, I think there would have been some great opportunities to lay down more character work for some of the people they had there, instead of all just bundled down into one episode. But even then, the small stuff, I did like the fact her character, yeah, she can change into anybody who she wants, but she physically can't touch anyone. And I like how how it affects her emotionally and mentally. And I did like that in the end when the doctor does give her that serum that allows her to physically touch people without changing. I felt that was a very great, heartful moment between her.
Oh, it was her.
Yeah, that was her.
Fuck. Okay, now I remember.
Yeah, because I remember she said that to the doctor, or was it to Clara? No, the other guy who had the robotic, who had the robotic.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was the doctor, because she's the one who shakes the doctor's hand. Yeah, when she has that conversation with the doctor, talking about that she can't get close to anybody because inevitably it's going to require that she has to touch them, and what kind of life, what kind of relationships can she have if she can't really physically connect with anyone?
Mm-hmm.
And I do like that. And I liked, as a comic fan, there was a comparison. It was like a great comparison to the character Rogue from the X-Men, who she can't physically touch anyone for her entire life. Mm-hmm. And so I liked how for her, she at least gets to have that chance.
That's true, yeah. Without having to lose it like Rogue tried to do in the movies.
Yes.
Yeah. So just looking at some of her other Big Finish stuff, she was one of River Song's sisters in the Diary of River Song. She played a very important time lady in the Time War on Gallifrey. She did a lot of stuff. She was with the she did a lot of War Master stuff. She's been around, but to me personally, I'm adding that up to her being Zebra, which was what you just described. So let's just hear where you would put her, and I'll raise you with all these other roles that I know her from.
I kind of put her in local knowledge.
Yeah, that works for me too, just because it sounds like a good character, but I didn't remember, unfortunately.
No, I mean, look, if people want to put her in, if you guys want to put her in Life Like That, I kind of would put her in a high tier for her Life Like That. But personally, I would put her in local knowledge.
I would put her above Kathika because again, I'm adding all the other roles.
Okay.
That I remember her from Big Finish.
Okay, works for me. At least it's on the same tier.
Yeah. All right. Now, the Jones family.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly, because of the episode itself, I can't really put Leo on here as well, but just imagine that he's there. So, Leo, Tish, Clive, and Francine Jones.
Yeah.
I think as a dysfunctional family, they operated a lot better than the dysfunctional family situation in with Rose and her father and her mother.
Oh,
Like I feel like as a family, it was a bit of a step up because you get introduced to them right away. Like that's one of the brilliances of that episode is that you get to learn everything about Martha's character and everything about Martha's family from the get go, and I appreciate that. Now, probably would have helped if we had more stories with all of them individually in that season, but I think what we got was enough to chew on.
oh,
This year.
totally, 100%. And you're right. Like these actors had great chemistry together.
Yeah, very great chemistry, very good, great family dynamics. Just again, I think they get a bit overlooked, especially when it comes to the conversation what I just said with Rose and her family, because it was kind of stretched across 2 seasons as opposed
Yeah.
to just one season with this family.
Mhm.
But and I'm sorry to do this again, but I throw again at you the Last of the Time Lords, the extended version, where you get the scene of all three of them in the prison on the Valiant, talking about all the stuff that the Master put them through and everything that they were planning on doing to the Master once it's all said and done. So it's just me adding more meat to more substance to these characters.
Adding more meat to your nerd boner. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's try to avoid these
Hey,
conversations.
you say you set it up. I'm sorry.
I stopped myself mid sentence. Okay,
Good, good, good.
Ryan, please save us. Please
so
say
I
something.
Ryan, before I say where I want to put him, what are your thoughts, dude?
I like this family dynamic. I like this family, honestly. They were exactly, at least in my mind, when it comes to Russell, when he wants to depict families, I loved them more than I did Jacqueline and at least at the
Well,
time Donna's family, because when he kept bringing in, it was always like, okay, the female companion who has a single mother. I liked with Martha, we do get a full family, so we get an idea
Yeah.
of her character, what drives her, what her family is like, how she compartmentalizes herself. It's not just nothing against Sylvia and Jacqueline. They are good characters. It's just when it comes with the idea of your companion, which is a weird thing that I've seen with modern era, unfortunately. Every female companion has this thing where they have a single mother, no parental figure in their life, to where it always leaves this weird idea they're joining the doctor because there's some daddy issues there, which I'm like, what the fuck?
I never really thought about that.
Well, this is an unfortunate thing I picked up from rewatching a lot of the modern Doctor Who.
Point of order.
Yes.
Not with Clara, but with Clara, it's the mother who's dead.
That's right.
Still parental.
Okay, but more often.
No, okay, no, point of order, Clara, yeah. But I'm just saying that. I mean, because if you look with at least in the companions that existed, Rose, Donna, Amy. Well, technically for Amy,
with Donna,
actually, hold on. That's what I was about to say. I was about to correct myself, man. Amy, at least, her parents didn't exist. But even then, she had no parental figure in her life.
Yeah, she was raised by an aunt. Same thing as Bill.
Yeah, no parental figure in her life. Then, of course, when you get with Jodie Whittaker, even though Yaz has a family, we get no idea. She's still, mother is gone. With Ryan Sinclair,
her mother is actually working for the American guy, Jack Robertson, with the spiders.
Oh, I thought that was it. I thought that was meant to be her aunt. Okay.
Well, no, that's her mother.
Okay. Hold on, man.
50.
I know 50. I know you want to. I know you want to. Well, actually, me, and I appreciate that. It's just like just rewatching at least some of the modern era, especially what's going on with Russell T Davies, and that he's brought back again with Ruby Sunday. The idea that some of the female companions only have single mothers and there's no parental father figure in their life. At least with Martha, this was a truly different turn to where she's got family problems, but at least her family's around to try to sort things out.
Yeah.
And I do like how in the end of time, well, no, the last of the Time Lords, and Here Come the Drums, we do see that this family do love and care for each other.
Mm.
And they are the sole reason why Martha decides to leave the doctor. Sure, she also has that speech to where, oh, I'm leaving you because you never noticed me, which I thought was stupid. But at the same time, she wants to be there with her family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And her family needs her.
Yes.
Yeah, she can still help save the world and the universe, but from home.
Yeah, with UNIT.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's one thing I appreciate with Martha as a companion. She realizes that I don't need to travel the world or travel the universe or the galaxy to find something that's missing. I can find what's missing here and at home. Or at least on my planet. It's one thing I've been hating with this constant trend of modern companions. At least when it came with Jack Harkness says to Yaz, you don't choose how your time ends. I'm like, yes, you fucking can. Traveling with the Doctor is not a tragic story, or it's not meant to be. It's not going to ruin you.
No, exactly.
I mean, case in point, Jack, you chose to leave twice. Just saying.
Okay, but beyond that, my old thoughts about the family, I'd actually put them in the greatest in the galaxy.
That's
I was going to suggest that too.
Me too. Yeah.
So next to Tanya, above Tanya,
Next to.
actually above Tanya because
I would
they
put it
were-
right there because there's no way anyone's topping what's her face.
Yeah, before you joined us, me and Ryan were talking that you'd probably have her in S tier, right?
Oh fuck yeah! Oh yeah! I hope we get more of her.
Hey, man, we probably will.
Yeah.
No,
I hope she becomes.
uh,
I hope she becomes like a Wilf-like character.
Ooh.
we'll see. We'll see. Now, Yaz.
Mm.
Now, fun fact: had the companion that had the most amount of episodes in the modern series.
Yeah.
3 full seasons, series. Whatever you want to
I was
call
gonna
it.
say, isn't there another stat as well? Like she's the only one also to go from beginning to end with one Doctor.
Yep. I mean, if you could say the same about Rose and Eccleston, but Eccleston's got a lot of Big Finish stuff.
Yeah.
Rose, so she was in everything. She was in on the TV, on the novels and the comics, and I haven't listened to the audio spin-off that they did for Jodie Whittaker's thing just yet, but pretty sure she was there as well. So, she's like the Doctor's wing girl. That sounds terrible.
Basically, is
I'd
that
say right hand. Her
A right-hand woman, yeah.
so? For me, the woman who walked the earth.
Really, that high?
I would put her that high just because of many reasons. Good character, longevity, the records we just described. Like this is a significant character.
Okay.
I actually agree. Yeah, the woman who fell to earth. Honestly, I mean, I didn't like the turn of what was happening with Yaz during the flux, but I still liked how that she was there, present. Like really, she wanted to be there.
Mm.
I mean, I didn't like how after Revolution of the Daleks it turned into where she's there for a crush. But I did, but even then, she was really open to admit that she's not done traveling with the Doctor yet, and she's one of the few. And she was there at least before Jodie. She was the one who actually got to have one last day with Jodie's Doctor before she regenerated.
Yeah, exactly.
And she was there for that companion support group at the end.
Yeah.
Now, I would agree for S tier.
And right there is fine. It's not
Because the Master and the Fugitive Doctor is just
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she can't really top those two. She's a great companion. I do love that. Even when the Master took over Jodie's Doctor, she's really one of the few companions like "fuck you" and just takes the target.
You're not my doctor.
Yeah, some good shit.
Yeah. Now, Soda. Carla Sunday. I know you like her.
There's definitely going to be another S tier for me. just because fucking knocked it right out of the park first time around. The scene where it's like, I know, editing techniques or whatever, but it's like where it goes from, having Ruby around and whatever, and then the doctor notices the cracks, notices something, he goes back, and also there's no trace of Ruby everywhere, and like she's just completely changed her character, and it was just like completely blew me away. So another one I hope we get more of down the road. I know we're going to. Hopefully we get a really good amount. But based on the one that's showing for me, S tier. The woman who fell there.
I agree with a lot what Soda just said, especially when me and you were just talking about her mother. You do see the changes in her just from her small interactions with Shooty's doctor, with Ruby, with Carla, and then I love with Carla. You do see that she looked like she was just a woman taking in adopted children just to raise for money, and then once they're old enough, they're gone. But no, you do see while she's explaining to Shooty that she adopted 33 children.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it was more than that. She made a family out of all of them to where they're still sending her like messages, or they're still in contact with.
Mhm.
Like she was just talking about some of the children who's doing great things with their lives. This was a woman who really was kind of like a giving tree. She was giving so much love out, and she got so much back. That like once you see that transition with Ruby gone, that is a woman who was robbed of something.
Yeah.
She is bitter, and she is almost in a way hateful of it, to where even when she's holding that baby, you truly can just see in her mind, like in her eyes, this is not something for her to care for. It's just
There's
more,
no love.
this is just something that's here just so I can get extra money.
Mm-hmm.
Like she barely even acknowledges that. Yeah, you can, even though she's holding that child while she's talking, you don't even see her look at the child at most of the time. That little baby.
Basically, when Ruby disappeared, she lost love, is what it was.
Yeah, she lost part of herself, part of her soul.
Yeah.
What you were just saying kind of reminds me of this old ad, an old commercial we used to have here years and years ago. It was just this kindergarten teacher, taking the last photo with all the kindergarten children, at the end of the year and whatnot.
Yeah.
And she says to the cameraman, "Make sure to get a good picture. It's my last year as teacher in this kindergarten." She's retiring, and immediately after she says that, the door bursts open, and like all the children from the previous year show up.
Oh yeah.
They wanted to be in the picture as well. And then and she gets excited. She smiles. She hugs all of them. She kisses all of them. And then the children from the previous year show up. And then the previous year, and you start to notice these children keeps getting older and older and older, and then goes all the way back to the first year she ever taught. She was with a kindergarten teacher in that school. All these people like in their 30s now, and they still showed up and remembered her. And that's how much she impacted her life. And eventually they all sit down, and there's like 100 and something people in that one picture to take this one last picture with the kindergarten teacher.
It reminds.
Of course, there was the one kid who did this because you have to.
Yeah, of course, naturally. Hearing that reminds me of the ending of Mr. Holland's Opus with Richard Dreyfuss. Similar thing. He's a teacher. When he retires, all of his old band students show up from the past, the ones that you meet throughout the movie. They show up as older people, and they play a song that was written for him that he is going to conduct for the first time ever right there.
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps just talking about that. Like, I love it when they show things like that.
Yeah. Fun fact, it was a phone commercial, if I remember correctly. That said, I'm with you, and she was a great character. She's not an S for me. I put her right next to her mom. I'm willing to push for above Sharon Davis, but that's about as high as I'm willing to go.
That works. I think it's a good compromise. The top of the next tier.
Now, she's not necessarily, because mainly I know we're getting more from her.
Yeah,
and I want to see more. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm hesitant to put her in S just yet.
No, I get that. You're not there yet. Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about this, you and me. I didn't love that episode as much as you did,
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
I don't think you loved any of them as much as I did.
Well, we have different tastes. I definitely
Oh, yeah,
love.
yeah.
I probably love the Star Beast more than you did, but that's because I freaking read the comic book in
Yeah,
high
yeah.
school, so it was like years in the making.
Yeah, no, for me it goes 3, 1, and 2.
Speaking of me in high school, I think we finally reached the point of the reason why we have an S tier
Mm.
with Martha Jones. I mean,
Oh, no fucking question, S tier.
I thought you were about to say no fucking shit. I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
and not just that. If you'll notice, I put her at the top of the S tier.
Oh, totally.
She
She
still
deserves
remains to this day as my number one companion, at least in the modern era. I still need to watch a lot more classics before I do overall.
I mean, to me, she is the best modern companion.
And
Best
she,
companion overall, of course, is Sarah Jane, but modern wise, she's the best. She's the
And-
number one.
people still want her to come back and make an appearance.
Oh yeah.
To this day.
I mean, I've been seeing people like in that companion support group that was in the Power of the Doctor. There was that empty seat, and there were people speculating
It was for her.
was that seat saved for Martha.
Yeah.
So
Although many people are thinking that was meant for Sarah Jane, but
Oh, maybe.
but I mean, it was past the point where they already confirmed that Sarah
Or it
Jane
could
was
have been
fine
Will.
in universe. But I mean, to my point, in 2020, like I mentioned, they mentioned that Sarah Jane was gone in that 2020's webcast or whatever, where they basically had Sarah Jane's funeral service, which was written by Russell T Davies. Her and Mickey were there with their daughter. So clearly, I feel like with Russell now back, I feel like it's a given that she's going to come back too, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
I would like to
fingers
see her
crossed.
come back, honestly.
Well, I mean, and if we're gonna get more stuff with Unit, like, or Torchwood, did I miss your Torchwood's coming back, or?
Yeah, I think that was mentioned at one point.
Yeah, so there you
He's
go.
planning on giving us a whole Doctor Who universe.
Yeah,
So a Marvel style universe.
yeah.
So-
There's plenty of things to bring back, so why
Yeah.
not?
There's so much that she can contribute to.
What's she doing now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Last I heard, she was in Sense8. That's way over.
No, she was a part of this show called New Amsterdam.
Mhm.
Oh,
It was a medical drama. I don't know if the show's still going, but yeah, I saw that she's currently a part of that.
And I love that she was in a recent Doctor Who convention. Someone asked her if she's coming back, and her response was a very definitive, maybe. Like, love the actress, but she does not have a poker face. Like she froze. She did not know what to answer, and some people took it as if she was hiding something. And I think from that convention that they also.
I mean, she can't give a definitive answer. She can't because she would love the door to be
a lot of
open.
actors have a way around it. Like Matt Smith was asked the same if he's coming back, and he gave it, and he was able to walk his way around it. Billy Piper was also asked; he was able to walk her way around it. Yeah, love Free Management. She does not know how to walk around these types of questions.
Well, no offense. I'm pretty sure it's not the first time she's been asked that before.
Of
I
course.
think she just does not want to answer because, let's be honest, if a video like that is released by a fan on the web, then people are just going to run with it. I think she's just trying to protect herself because last thing she wants to do is go, oh, yeah, I would love to come back. And then fans will start running with these things like, oh, Freeman Agman's coming back. And then they'll make these fake articles going like, oh,
Well, I mean,
she met with producers at Doctor Who and there's talks,
And for all we know, she could have signed an NDA and she is coming back, so she can
Yeah.
say something. Like, who knows?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's
We had a
kinda
lot of instances where the answer for a lot of these actors were, yeah, I'd love to come back if the story was right, if they offered the money or whatever.
Even something like
It's
that kind of hurts a little bit because then it sets it, at least in the eyes of studios or people who want to bring them back. It's like, okay, there's certain restrictions, so they may not be able to bring them back.
Mhm.
I think her just leaving it out there in the open is kind of like saying, oh, she's open to negotiating an opportunity to come back, but I don't want it to be, oh, she has a definitive answer.
Yeah. Now, I think we can all agree that this character is not coming back anytime soon. Ryan Sinclair.
Yeah.
Like,
No, yeah, I don't think so.
I think he did his time.
Yeah.
Also, he's part of the Chibnall era at this point. It looks like they're doing it's seeing what's happening right now. How Shudi's new Doctor is sort of separate from the current timeline. In fact, it's renamed season 1. I don't think we will see him for a while.
Me
No.
too. I think we're still gonna see Tolson Cole in conventions and stuff. He's still gonna have a Doctor Who presence. I mean, like once you are in the show, it's kind of for life.
Like the
But-
mafia.
What?
Like the mafia.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or like Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
But that doesn't mean he's gonna come back anytime soon or ever. So, he put his name in the Doctor Who legacy.
Mhm.
That's enough. Like a lot of people would give their right leg and left foot. What? To do what he did.
I see what you were. I see what you did.
I know what you were getting at. I
Lost myself mid thought there.
No,
Anyways, I
usually
need
put
to
body
shut
parts.
up. I need to shut up. Where are we putting him? I mean, he did 2 seasons, 2 specials.
I wouldn't. He's definitely not Woman Who Walked the Earth territory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he is somewhere in the greatest in the galaxy because
I agree.
I mean, yes, he may have not made much of an impact, but he did have a strong story. He did have a strong little plot thread going with him in the first one, where he lost his grandmother, and so he's kind of wrestling with that.
Yeah.
He does at least get some closure in the last episode, and then the fact that the first Doctor Who special was mainly focused on him and his relationship with his dad.
Yeah,
That's
right
also,
here.
That's also an important one. And then in series 12, he kind of becomes one of the few guys that starts questioning, like he really starts truly asking questions to the Doctor. It really showing how Jodie's so closed off.
Yeah.
So when we get to Revolution, also in series 12, he has an episode to where he realizes his friend who's having those dreams and his friend tells him that he's gone for weeks or months at a time. That plants the seed in Ryan's head to where he does not want to. Not only does he not want to continue traveling with the Doctor, but he really wants to be a part of. He wants to live his life, which is why I did say earlier when Jack said to Yaz, "You don't get to choose when your time ends." Ryan, and then at the end of the episode, Ryan completely counters that fucking statement and saying, "I'm done. I'm walking out."
Him and Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah. They both left on their own terms. Yeah.
And again, you bring that up again. Listen, Jack, have you not seen Martha recently? But so you put him next to Tanya and Martha's family, or above Martha's family?
Oh, I think for me, below Martha's family.
I would actually. Oh, okay. Oh
That's
no!
the-
Wait, but then I see who's on the. Then I see who else is there. Yeah, that's a good spot for him.
Okay. Okay, now we're back to me. With RMM. Now, again, the logistics of the issues of having a white actress playing an ancient Egyptian pharaoh. It is what it is. Obviously, they're not gonna get an Egyptian from 5000 BC to play a character on Big Finish. So that's that. But be that as it may, I really liked her. She made an interesting impact. I mean, first of all, a pharaoh, a person of royalty traveling with the Doctor, and Caroline Morris. I mean, she didn't really do much at all besides just being this character on Big Finish, acting wise. So again, this is just for me. So I don't think I'm gonna get anything from out of either one of you guys.
Yeah, I got nothing.
To me, she's an A because she's to go off of what Ryan was saying before he left for a minute. I mean, actually, you know what? We'll bring him back when he comes back. But uh, to go back on what Ryan was saying about Ryan, this Ryan specifically,
Yeah.
she does question the doctor a lot. She does. At some point, the doctor goes off on his it's that's how history happened, that's how it needs to happen, and she goes, no, not on my watch. And she does stand up for the weak. She does stand up for people who can't defend themselves, and eventually she gets to marry a king of Paladon and becomes a queen of planet Paladon anyway. So yeah, she was destined to be a pharaoh, and she eventually became queen of a planet. What more could you ask for?
Yeah.
So
No kidding.
I'm putting her above Ryan. Sorry to do this to you, Ryan, but I just like the character more. What can I say? Speaking of characters that made an interesting impact, Cotton from the Mutants episode.
Sorry, you say his name was Cotton?
Cotton, yeah.
Okay.
They didn't really go too much on last names in the classic series, but I think out of the very few people of color who were in classic Doctor Who, he's one of the ones that really made an impact, because he wasn't just a background grunt. I mean, he was kind of a guard on a space station, but he's one of those grunts that rose above his station, actually started questioning his superiors. He's one of those characters where you know the Doctor opens his eyes in a way and sort of gets him to question authority, and but by the end he does eventually rebel, and he helps the Doctor and Joe accomplish the mission. Of course, you know, most of the stuff that he did kind of went by the wayside anyway, because that episode ended on probably the biggest Deus Ex Machina ever in Doctor Who. But that's beside the point. He still had a huge part to play in the plot of that episode, and I really like that. It's not, you know, an A tier character, but he's one of the good ones. I would say I would put him right above Faria. Should we wait for Ryan to come back for the next one?
That is up to you.
Because you know it's Jeffrey from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the one that both of us did not know.
You mean all three of us, just me off camera?
Well, no, I think I told you about it. So,
you did, yeah. Yeah, and surprised me too. I didn't know.
Yeah. Still, I mean, he only has like one scene, and it's about a minute long, minute and a half. But it's memorable. I mean, case in point, what he said is literally the name of one of the tiers. And I love that his just casual optimism, having a nice casual conversation with the Doctor while the Doctor is contemplating genocide.
Yeah, no kidding.
In a cafe, like he knows he's got to murder the Daleks with the hand of Omega, and he stops to have a coffee or tea. Sorry, and he starts having a mental breakdown about whether or not he should put sugar in his tea.
How British of him.
Sylvester McCoy's Scottish, but I get your point.
I'm British of the character.
Yeah, I'm British of the character. So
that think, like local knowledge seems to be like to see the ceiling for me when it comes to ranking this character.
Yeah, because again, one scene, and it's about a minute long.
Yeah,
I put him up slightly above Cyril Neary's character.
Agreed.
Now, we went from one character who is the reason for why we named one of the tiers to the other person we named one of the tiers after. the Ringmaster from The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. And just for context, I'm going to play this clip for you.
Now, welcome, folks. I mean it from the heart, because the greatest show is about to start. It's happening right here before your very eyes, and one thing's for sure, you're in for quite a surprise. But then nothing's quite as it seems to be at the greatest show in the galaxy. Now, welcome, folks. We got a brand new act. He's a real fine, and no doubt that's a fact. He'll entertain you. He'll make you stare. And our great new act is seated over there.
Thank you, but
Come on, Doctor. Don't be shy.
well, I'm not really sure that I should.
Oh, no false modesty. We know you're good.
Well, this is most unexpected. Are you sure you want me?
Oh, there's no mistake, Doc. Come on in. Feel free.
Don't go, Professor. Why, what harm would it do?
Exactly. But the decision's up to you.
No, Doctor!
That
You weren't happy watching that. I saw you in the thing.
was very 80s.
What did you expect?
Not that. I wasn't expecting him to rap, okay? That surprised me.
Okay.
I recognize that actor from somewhere. I'm looking it up right now.
Hold on, give me a second. But any other thoughts you wanted to say about?
So he seems to be kind of in the vein of the toy maker, maybe, but but in the circus world, is that fair?
I mean, yeah, it does. It is very fair. Rico Ross is the actor.
Yes, I'm looking at him right now.
So
Oh, he was in Aliens. Well, okay.
okay. Yeah, he is a very toy maker-ish character, toy maker-like.
Yeah.
I mean, the psychic circus is definitely something. You know what? The more and more episodes I do, the more and more I think about characters and concepts I think we should have added to that long tier list of things we want to see come back. I want to see the psychic circus back.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
The greatest show in the galaxy.
Just think what you can do with the 21st century with a character like that.
Yeah,
Like, even look what they did with the toy maker.
yeah, that's a concept that could get a nice 21st century updated version.
Hey, brought Ace back. Who knows?
The Big Finish guys did kind of give an origin story about how the psychic circus started. They of course tied it with the master, the Richard Dreyfuss master, which not talking about him anymore.
Not the Richard
But-
Dreyfuss one.
Yeah. So is it Richard Dreyfuss? Something Dreyfuss. Anyway, I mean, clearly I love the episode. I named this show after it, but I think he gives off the vibes of all these middle
Yeah.
of the road.
Exactly. Like
I'd say that-
you may like him, but to me he's coming off as a rip off of the toy maker. But again, I've only seen this one clip. That's
Yeah.
the vibe I was getting.
and I'd say he's more similar to the Neil Patrick Harris toy maker and not the Michael Goff toy maker. That's why I have issues with
Okay. Oh yeah, no, you're right. That's actually totally fair. That's way fair. Never mind. I retract my statement.
And look at that, Ryan's back.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah,
I
we just
forgot I
got
had
to
laundry.
mention
I
that.
had laundry, so we're on him. Okay.
I mean, we already ranked him, but if you want to add your thoughts on him,
we put him in the middle tier.
Yeah, honestly, that it's not much thoughts I have on I have honestly. It was mostly going to be just a little bit on mainly just his impression that he made in that episode with with the Seventh Doctor. But yeah, I was going to put him on local knowledge.
That's where we put him.
Okay.
And again, we already ranked him, but you want to add a few thoughts on this guy?
Oh my god! The fact I forgot the actor, not the character he played, but the actor.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm like insulted. Like I shouldn't put him on local knowledge, but the fact that but he's kind of like in a fun way, kind of a fun of what is that? He's like he's there for the epiphany moment for Seventh Doctor.
To be the
So,
voice
I
of
mean, I
reason.
don't know nothing about the character. I would put him on local knowledge myself.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it that he's the voice of reason while the Doctor is contemplating genocide.
Yes.
Yeah. Of all things.
Now, Geeta Chandra, Ronnie's mother on Sarah Jane Adventures, obviously lasted 4 seasons, and of course we could also put this in an expanded category of just Mina Anwar in general, because she also showed up in a Capaldi episode very briefly at the very beginning of an episode, but she also falls into that Anjali Mohendra category of just she's just playing the Indian character on Big Finish whenever Big Finish needs a character of Indian descent. They either get her or Anjali Mohendra. So,
I'm
familiar with the character. I'm sorry.
because of lack of access to watching Sarah Jane, I have nothing to say.
Mm-hmm.
all right.
If I wasn't a kid in college that had little access to premium cable, maybe I'd say more on any characters from Sarah Jane, but I can't.
All right. Well, I think she's a fun character. There's a character quirk that she always calls Sarah Jane Sarah, and Sarah Jane always corrects her because she only likes it when the Doctor calls her Sarah.
Yeah.
I put her right next to the other mother from that show, slightly above her,
Okay.
right next to Clyde's mother. Now, this guy I really wanted on the show, Zachary Crossflame,
Oh, I love that actor.
the Ood two-parter. And if you're asking yourself why is this guy even on here, I mean, he was the leader of the group in that episode. A lot of the episode that does rest on him. I love the moment when
The captain, yeah. He was the ship captain, yeah.
well, he by default because the original captain died, so he was next in seniority.
Mm-hmm.
Superiority. So he took on the role. I love the moment where the Doctor just gets up and hugs him.
Oh yeah, because you beautiful humans.
Yeah, and he's looking at this picture. I mean, he's threatening a couple of red-eye Oods with a bolt gun.
You guys,
He's not firing it immediately. He's trying to at least try to come off intimidating. So he's not his instinct is not to kill. It's just kind of like to really try to scare them. But
it's not really the Oods' fault that they're this way.
yeah,
We get told. And eventually it's that same bolt gun that ends up saving the day because Rose uses it to throw Satan into a black hole. And that is the sentence that just came out of my mouth.
yep.
And if you want to know more about him, he actually came back on Big Finish, believe it or not.
and
As his main character.
interesting.
The Torchwood,
Oh.
the Torchwood the Torchwood range is weird. They bring back everybody. They brought back the Slovene woman from the first season. They brought back
The yeah, okay.
they brought back Queen Victoria. They brought Sontarans on the
Well,
Torchwood.
technically, Queen Victoria in that series was the one who started Torchwood.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but they actually brought her back in that series. They brought back Billis the manager from season 1. Torchwood line is interesting.
You
They
guys
had
recognize
Joe
him?
Grant on the Torchwood range, by the way.
You guys recognize him from anything else?
I know it's playing projects and shows, but yeah.
He was the guy who owns the blimp in The Mummy Returns.
Izzy.
Yeah, is he?
Oh wow!
That's where I know him from.
Like he's the one that always yells about getting shot, right?
Yes, yeah, that's him.
I got shot, and then you are saying it's some belly dancer girl.
Uh,
Yeah, that's him.
Definitely need to rewatch that movie. I haven't seen this movie in years.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, where are we putting him?
Let's see.
I mean, I think at this point, local knowledge is the way to go for a lot of these characters.
I would put him at the top. I would put him in the higher end of local knowledge because he's
Yeah, I actually agree with Soda. I put him up in the higher end.
Me too. I think I put him above Zebra.
yeah. Just because he was in many ways like the opposite of the Doctor in the episode.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, okay, this one's gonna be interesting. Speaking of Torchwood, we have Lisa Hallett, and yes,
Oh my god.
yes, we're using this picture to avoid using this picture. Anyways, so
That was like
yeah,
a quick flash.
You have to.
Flash
No,
me.
wait.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm kidding.
Ryan has issues with this picture. That's why I'm using this one.
I have issues with the episode in general that involves her character, but yeah, the picture itself would bring a rise out of me, and not in the way that.
I didn't say nothing.
Okay, you.
Let's just say it makes me angry. I'll just say the other picture makes me angry.
That's fair. That's fair. I get that. I
That's why I'm
understand
using
that.
Okay. Now, assuming the character didn't look like this, it's still a good episode, I think. At least what they tried to do with her character, right?
What's the episode again?
Cyberwoman,
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Hmm.
Did
Oh,
we do-
yes, I have seen that one. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one where Yanto's girlfriend turns out to be a woman from the.
Yeah. Okay. I had to re-jog my memory for a second there.
Yeah. But what do we want to say about this character? I think because of her personal connection to Yanto, and because, again, this picture, it's not from that episode, it's from another episode where it's from the season finale where all the characters are seen.
Yeah, the rift, they're seeing past ghosts, and they decide to
and
open the rift.
people that they're convincing them to open the rift. It's like they manipulate all these other characters manipulating the other characters to open the rift. And Owen sees the fly woman that he slept with. What else did?
Wasn't she a pilot?
Yeah, she's a pilot. And what did Tosh see? Can't remember. Did Tosh see her mother? I think.
I don't remember.
And I love that at the end when all was said and done, Gwen asks Jack who could convince him to open the rift, and he's like, the right kind of doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that line. But back to Lisa. Where are we putting her?
I mean, outside of the costume itself alone, you are right. The episode is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, even seeing her ghost pop back up in later on to convince Yanto to open the rift, still a good. It's still a very good use of her character, like someone who was wronged, and so obviously had a close connection to Yanto.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole reason Yanto joined Torchwood in the first place was for her. This Torchwood, that is, not the other Torchwood.
No, I would definitely put her in like high tier local knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Local knowledge, okay.
High tier, but like that's me, man. I'm not saying we all got to agree.
I was going to suggest low on the greatest men in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Soda, you're the tiebreaker.
How about number one on local knowledge then? Because you were low on greatest men in the galaxy, and you were thinking top tier local knowledge. So how about like right at the top?
Well, I mean, you weren't here when we decided this, but we kind of decided the Movellans are gonna stay at the top because they
Oh,
beat the Daleks.
You were the one. I mean, I'm not saying we agreed on this. I mean, I was in agreement, but even then with her character, mainly because I didn't know much about the Lavellans.
All right. So someone finally dethrones the Movellans.
Ding 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 ding.
And wouldn't you know it, someone the one that dethroned the ones that beat the Daleks was actually part Cyberman.
Oh, there you go.
Crazy world. Now we talked about Geeta Chandra. We can talk about Haresh Chandra, her husband. I decided to put them in different categories because, again, Mina Anwar has a lot of other stuff besides just playing the character.
Yeah.
This guy, not so much, I'm afraid. But I mean, I like that he's not just the father of the girl next door. He's also the school principal.
Mm.
So that adds a whole new dynamic to the show, especially with Clyde. And I love his relationship with
Oh,
Clyde.
Sarah Jane. Okay, I'm like, who is he from? Where is he from?
I said, okay, never mind. I wasn't clear.
I know you said the girl next door, but then I was thinking of Fear Her, and even
Well,
though
I was talking about Geeta Chandra and her husband Haresh Chandra,
okay.
and Soda just left.
Well, keep going.
But yeah, I think he does get a lot of funny moments, and his dynamic definitely helps. But not too much to say that he shouldn't be too far away from his on-screen wife right here. So I think we should just make a move and put all three of the Sarah Jane parents
Yeah, put them all in the same area.
right next to each other.
Works for me. Sorry, it was getting a little cold, so I had to go put on some PJ bottoms.
Yeah.
It's like minus
keep
5
warm.
up here right now.
Now, does anyone remember this guy?
Yes, school reunion. I can't remember
Yeah.
the character's name, but he was.
Oh, he's one of the teachers.
He was
Yeah, he was
Anthony
one of the
Head's number
teachers.
2.
One of the Krillin teachers.
Yeah.
And-
He was the number 2. He was like the second in command.
Yeah, the second the vice
The
principal
principal, basically.
for Anthony Head.
Yeah.
But a small detail there is that when they're all in bat form, he's like a black bat, where all the other one are like pinkish white
Mhm.
bat. That's something I think they added in post. But I love it, just this picture right here is from that moment when the kid walks into the classroom. He sees the bat under the table, under the desk, like rah, and he gets up, and it's in human form, and then the human bat form just goes,
Yeah.
"This isn't your classroom, Kenny. Run along." Like, who stays in school after that?
Right?
Seriously, who? If that kid doesn't run back home immediately, I don't know what's wrong with him.
Mm.
But that I think that moment is the only really memorable moment that this guy has. And I just
Yeah,
really
the
only
fact you're recalling that still made no impression on me. So
Oh, totally. It's still memorable. Yeah.
no, it made no impression on me.
Oh, really?
No.
To your point, this is the only reason I wanted to have him here for that stupid moment of the. But that's the only. I mean, he's a tin dog for sure.
Yeah.
From the
Okay,
episode
fair.
that came up with that. Yeah, but I just felt it was funny.
Okay.
That scene. So bottom of Tin Dogs, I think I remember him better than the Naismiths, and he's not a book character, so I actually know him. So it is what it is. Now, this character you might recall from when we did the episode, we talked about all the classic series people of color. This guy from the Civil War.
Yeah.
The American Civil War, from the War Games. Like, I like that they had this guy basically leading the charge as one of the leaders of the resistance fighting against the warlords. But he doesn't do much besides that.
I have no clue who he is.
Your silence is deafening, both of you.
Well, I don't know who he is.
I know. I was talking to Ryan because we
Oh, okay.
talked about him in an episode, and he's still silent.
Okay, I was gonna say either he froze or he's trying to think.
Ryan, are you with us?
I'm still with you guys. I'm just trying to decide where I want to put him.
Okay, so I'll take the picture off to make it easier. I think life's like that is enough.
Yeah, I'm trying to see where would they be on Lives Like That. Maybe somewhere in the middle.
Next to Colonel Runaway.
Oh, I would say above.
Okay. So right next to
Below the fear of her fan.
Kokabara. Kokabara sits in the oak tree. Okay, Ryan, I think you're gonna have a lot to say about Danny Pink, right?
I've said my piece about Danny Pink, honestly. I'm just like,
Okay.
anyone who has detractions on Danny Pink, like what's actually people are gonna say about it?
Okay, I thought it was gonna be a very long tangent, but if you look, that's what you look into. Go ahead and watch the episode where we talked about the modern series Companions of Color.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like rehashing the same things I've said before. I mean, look, Danny, I still think Danny was a very underutilized character.
Me
who
too.
was-
He got the shaft that season.
yeah, I think he was just given the wrong time a new doctor, honestly.
Mhm.
If he was introduced around a time where Clara was finally established and the doctor, I think he would have worked better. But even when his character was missing, I still liked seeing some of the echoes of his presence still
Mhm.
felt in Series 9.
Okay.
And his ending, like, is still, no matter what got us to that point, is his final moments are still, for me, pretty intense.
Because
Mhm.
even in the afterlife, he wanted to undo a mistake.
Yeah,
He was undo it.
yeah. It was, like I said, no matter how that we got to that point, it was a great moment.
And I mean, you already know my thoughts on the whole season.
I don't like this thing! And here's what I'm doing with it!
Yeah, pretty much.
So is he good enough for greatest man in the galaxy, or not?
I personally put him up there, honestly.
Oh yeah, I would towards the lower end, but yeah,
I'd actually put him, well, maybe somewhere, but yeah, like lower than Ryan Sinclair.
yeah.
Lower than Ryan Sinclair?
Yeah, just because his Danny Pink's season was very all over the place.
Oh yeah, but that
Yeah.
wasn't his fault.
No, 100%. But I mean, like, as opposed to
Yeah.
another guy who is his, he was very consistent.
But then also, if you look at the episode, listen, the fact that you meet one of his descendants and they leave out that huge, stupid
Yeah.
little piece where that toy soldier saying it's a family heirloom, they're like, what is it? Like, is he supposed to be his great grandchild?
Yeah,
Is he supposed to be a relative?
has
Because
anyone taken Stephen Moffat to task for that?
How does he have a great grandchild if he's dead anyway by the end of the season?
Right?
well, I mean grandchild. You know, I don't know how old he is when we meet him. I forget.
You had to bring up that episode.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying he's lower than Ryan.
Part of his character.
My least favorite episode of Doctor Who of all time.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on.
I don't like this thing! And here's what I'm doing with it!
Yeah, you need. to
Right,
get
moving on to an episode I actually like. Solomon,
Oh,
From-
great, yes.
the Dalek two-parter in
in Manhattan. Yeah.
Yeah, in Manhattan. Allegedly Manhattan because they didn't film there, but whatever. But I mean, he's got a powerful performance. Even Spider-Man thinks so. Like he definitely made an impact.
Hmm.
So, and I mean, in the time of the Great Depression, you had this guy who's the leader of the people who live in Hooverville, and like he has this presence on screen where he walks in and everyone just listens to him. Everyone just respects him. He shows up to break up the fight, um, and there's that one guy who's like really angry at the other guy, and when he's trying to broke peace between these guys, like you better think real carefully before you lie to me, boy.
Mhm.
And you just see the guy breaking down, like, I'm starving, Solomon. And I love that he's being very fair. I mean, not to be too on the nose, but Solomon settled the difference by splitting something in half.
That's true. Yeah,
Doesn't that
common sense.
strike someone as being too on the nose?
A bit.
A little bit, but it's common sense.
Yep. And speaking of common sense, he does actually talk to the Daleks a little bit, and he actually gets them to listen to his speech before they kill him anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like I said, he's got a lot of powerful moments
Wow.
in that episode,
Great
and he really nails that performance greatly.
Yeah, he's a great character.
I do agree. So I definitely would put him a bit up on. I would definitely put him somewhere high on the list.
Yeah, he's. I think for me, greatest men in the galaxy, right below the Joneses.
Below the Joneses, okay. Ryan?
Yeah, man, it's difficult for me to decide. Oh, wow. You know what? Thinking about I think he could be below the Joneses.
See, I actually prefer Aramem because she's a companion.
Okay.
But I put him above Ryan.
That works for me.
That's Ryan, not you.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Don't no confusion.
I know. It's just it's my thing. But yes, I think between Ryan and Aramem.
Okay.
Okay. So did I not upload this picture? I am sorry. I'm all over the place today. Give me just a quick second. Bill Potts. Why did you both just went so silent all of a sudden?
What?
When we talked to, I was expecting a bigger reaction to Bill Potts.
I like Bill.
I do like Bill. There's nothing wrong.
Shaft.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with the Stephen Moffat era. A lot of good characters got shafted.
Yeah,
but she's still
Or at
really
least even before they were even fully realized. Like Bill came close to being fully realized as a character. Like especially during the Monks run, we get to see her interact. I wanted to see how her interaction would be with a Missy who is being reformed by the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we even got a bit of a taste of that in the opening of World in Time and Enough. World in Time Enough for the Doctor, whatever that episode is called.
World Enough in Time.
Yeah.
And I mean, the way that episode starts kind of signifies an interesting new start for the Doctor and Missy that gets completely sidetracked once we get to the Cyberman story. But I think I would have liked to have seen more.
It's too sidetracked. I mean, even in that episode, Bill is still in a big part of it. The fact that Doctor supplants, hypnotically supplants, like she wants her to wait for him, and while at the same time she wants to investigate, but and of course to find out that Johnson's master is there, manipulates her, and ends up falling into that fate of becoming a Cyberman. It is tragic, honestly, and even then, still fighting inside that programming.
and she got out of it. And you know what? She was even mentioned in the giggle.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was.
She did leave a pretty big impact.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did. Yeah, and the fact even then, Bill was kind of one of the students. Even in her introductive episode, she brought out the yearning to go into space with a doctor again. I mean, it was still a little slow because he and Nardo were stuck on Earth, making sure Missy never got out. But even then, the fact that the doctor don't know how long he's been teaching at that school, but it's been clear that he can't keep down trying to he can't ever get rid of that feeling of wanting to leave. And I
Yeah.
think Bill brought back that idea of wonder in him, that curiosity of wanting. The fact we brought up with Bill's mom, the fact that the doctor did something kind, traveling through time to do something kind, shows that the doctor is willing to do something for someone kind.
Yeah, and I love the moment where he
Oh
just
my god, that was terrible. That was a terrible what I just said. I mumbled my words. I mean, he was doing
he's
something
still doing
kind
better than me.
for a good person, and I think even in the first episode, that ended up leading to how he figured himself out when he's speaking to Missy and the Master. He's doing something because it's kind.
Mm-hmm. And I love the moment where he just sits in his desk and he glances down at the picture of Susan, and you realize he sees a lot of Susan's aspects in her. Like, she reminds him of Susan a lot, and then that's really what got him off to traveling back in space and time again with someone. So A tier, definitely,
Totally.
but where? I personally I put her above the Joneses,
Yeah, I agree about the Joneses.
and I know I'm gonna have a tough time beating
No,
Cherry.
I'm thinking about Cherry as well.
Yeah,
Honestly, I kind of would put her at the very top.
Yeah.
really
Yeah, I would too. Well, because
works
as
for me.
Ryan pointed out, like we were getting like fully developed character by the end, but they just didn't get there because of how they screwed her over.
Yeah,
So I think it's
I
perfect.
was excited when we got to see her in the Christmas special because I thought we weren't even going to get that, and then we did. So I'm happy we did.
Yeah, so no, that she's perfect right where she is.
Yeah. I mean, look, nothing to take over with Cherry, but she had a simple one-off appearance in the Christmas special. We
Yeah.
don't know right now if we will see her again.
Yeah.
Until the new season starts. Bill, we already do have a full
Yeah, the whole
season
thing.
and a Christmas special with her. Even when she was a part of the even when she was a part of that organization who to observe the dead. She's not there for nefarious reasons. She herself wanted to know about the doctor to where she has that nice one with the first doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Studies the doctor. Okay, now hear me out. Hear me out, okay?
Here comes
So-
more Big Finish stuff for a character who only saw once.
So the president, right? Because there's an alternate world where not only does Great Britain have a president instead of a prime minister, he's black. Okay, so he beats Obama to the punch by about 2 years. But
This is the Age of Steel, right? Yeah.
yeah, Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel. But years before that, he played Rassilon in Big Finish.
Oh,
So he went from being the president of Gallifrey to being the president of the United Kingdom. But Don Warrington earned his right to be one of the greatest contributors to Doctor Who.
okay.
So I'm kind of counting it as a double performance. Like he was.
Yeah, but hold on. Are we ranking characters or actors?
Oh, those characters. The characters.
In some cases, it's actors. In some cases, it's the
Oh.
single character.
Oh, okay.
Because, like I said, like we did with Mina Anwar and Pippa Bennett Warner, I'm putting him as part of it. And there's another actress we're going to get to later.
Okay, because we can't account for that because again,
No. You say your piece on him as the president, and I'm just adding my
yeah,
thoughts on him as Rassilon.
like I mean, As the president, yeah, he was perfectly fine. I mean, standing up to the Cybermen, like good for him. Didn't end well, but
Yeah.
outside of that,
Since he knows what the Cybermen are.
yeah, outside of that, great in the role. That's about it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, this is more because of the Big Finish stuff that he's done, and there's definitely more actors along the way. But for me, yeah, he's just as the minister. I mean, as the president in that new world, yeah, he was okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you would say a bottom of local knowledge, but I would.
Yeah, I would say local knowledge, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
But see, I would bump that up to the close to the top of local knowledge because of Rassilon stuff.
Mm.
So will we put him right next to the Mavellans and Lisa?
Oh,
Well, that's a tough choice.
that's a tough choice because because of that Big Finish stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do it like this. Where would you rank him on local knowledge?
Well, like that's the thing. Like as that character, like that's why I asked. Like
As that character, where would you put him?
as
Here.
that character, I wouldn't put him too high. I would probably put him just above what's her face's parents from Sarah Jane.
Okay,
Oh,
that
here.
that feels like a good spot.
Yeah, that's where I would put it as the character as the president.
Okay. So if that's where you two would put him,
Yeah.
and I would add the Rassilon stuff to put him
Like,
right.
that's why I asked, like, are we doing characters or actors? Because
I know, like, I agree, it's a mixture of both, but honestly, like I said, I mean, if that's the case, then trust me, I'm gonna be blank on a lot of.
yeah, me too.
No,
choices
you don't have to know him as the other character. It's just you say your piece on him as the character you know, and I'm adding my thoughts on it. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Now, character with a very limited screen time but effective was Martin Luther King in Rosa.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love that scene. I think he only has one scene. He might have another scene. that
Yeah,
I missed
because
somewhere.
I believe Graham and Ryan accompanies Rosa to a meeting, and Martin is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just love that moment for Ryan that he gets to shake hands with the Martin Luther King.
hmm
But again, it's just one scene. So, I mean, it's freaking Martin Luther King. You can't have a list like this and not put him
Yeah.
here.
For the historical episode, yeah, it's an impactful
Yeah.
one.
So, where would you rank him?
I would put him. I mean, I'm trying to think.
Like briefly in one episode, like you can't rank him too high.
Yeah,
Well,
because
you know, my opinion is the best episode.
it's a great episode, and it was a very important moment for Ryan Sinclair. But the thing was, the episode's called Rosa, and it's not called Martin Luther King.
Yeah,
So I would put him in local knowledge.
at the most.
Yes. So I would say somewhere. Yeah, I would say right before above Jeffrey.
Okay,
All right, that works for me.
me too. Now, you know, we haven't had an S tier in a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know
Coming up next.
Yes, it's a good thing Mickey's here. Now, Noel Clark's real world shenanigans aside, we're talking Mickey. And you know what? Just for fun's sakes, let's put Mickey and Ricky.
Yeah.
You know, sort of a double header. Because again, it's Noel Clark, you know, and he also had another character on Big Finish that I can talk about, but it's mostly just Mickey and Ricky that we're going here to talk about. Why am I getting silent from you guys all the time?
No, I agree 100%. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, we still have so many more to go on, and
Yeah.
honestly, depending on time, I'm gonna have to bow out soon. So I'm like, yes, 100%,
Yeah.
no question. He is an S tier.
And it's midnight for you over there.
Yeah,
Thanks for
and
reminding me.
and I have to go out and hang out with some friends later on. So I want to try to get through as many.
Yeah,
people
no.
as possible.
Mickey's it's kind of short. Mickey's definitely an S tier. I would put him, right there.
Where?
Yeah, I would put him right there.
I'd almost put him above Sasha, honestly.
Really?
About okay.
That's me because he had so much growth through both doctors.
Right.
And Sasha, great performance for Jodie Whittaker's era. It's just that there's more dimensions.
His version of a character, whereas this is just him.
He's a one of a kind, and if you want to include Ricky as well, Noel Clark, he got to play different versions of Mickey. He played in the pilot. You meet him; he's a bit of an oblivious or maybe an aloof boyfriend.
And he also played the plastic version of Mickey.
Yeah, which is all about.
And then of course you get to see Mickey with the consequences of Rose traveling in time. And then he goes through an arc in that first season from being pissed off to being supportive to helping open up the TARDIS panel. And then in season 2, you do see that first he's yearning for adventure, wants to find his place. So he joins the Doctor after school reunion, goes into that alternate world, meets his other version, meets his grandmother who didn't die. And then he decides to stay behind. And then season 2, Mickey at that point, he's fully realized the character to when he pops back up in Journey's End. You love the fact that he shows up, he's able to assist, but then he's smart enough to know, like, I know what's coming next. I don't need to travel. I don't need to travel with you to know what's going to happen. I don't need to travel to know what's happening.
Pretty much.
And if only he hadn't married Martha. Anyway.
I'm still hoping that will be undone.
Well, Russell. So far, Russell's pretty dead set on that.
Well, he is.
They have a daughter together. I mean, you wouldn't want them to get divorced, and now Martha's going to be the single mother again.
Yeah,
that repeating trope again.
All
okay,
right.
Mary Seacole from War of the Sontarans. Since you said you gotta have to buy out later, I'm gonna say local knowledge.
Sure.
Yeah, especially that she's playing a historical character, so I would definitely go with local knowledge.
Yep, works for me.
Important historical character, but
not
as important as Mark.
Because Jodie's doctor, the point of her doctor, she meets her, she is a fan of her character. So yeah,
yeah, that works for me.
To me, however, one of the standouts from the Flux, was Vinder. I wish we got to see more. I mean, I'm glad he came back in Power of the Doctor, and I wish he come back later. Okay, comes back more on the show. He's one of the characters that I actually really grew fond of in Flux, and I recently rewatched all the Flux, so I got all of that. Came back to me, and now that he just threatens the Master. And
well, it's not just threatening the Master. He's pretty much the one who has the Master. Like the Master believes that Doctor's allies are people who are non-violent, or when the gun's in their hand, they won't shoot. He's there to realize, no, I will shoot you, so don't test me.
Case in point, look at the
Flux. Even in Flux, he gets to have his own, not happy ending, but he gets to have his resolution at the end.
Yeah.
He's exiled under a cruel dictator who he ends up finding through time, and then chooses to exile him in the same fate he had.
Yeah, what goes around comes around. So I think A, but not too high on A.
Okay.
I think what about right above Solomon?
That's actually a good spot.
I can live with that.
I was actually really contemplating whether I should or shouldn't put this character here. Journey Blue.
Oh, one off from Into the Dalek. Okay.
Oh, I was actually surprised to remember this character because she's very forgettable from the. Yeah, and I love that. And just at the end, she's like, she walks up to the doctor and is like, "Take me with you." I would if you weren't a soldier. Bye.
So Tin Dog.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say Tin Dog. I mean, she has her own mini arc there because when you meet her, she is a soldier in the midst of a war going on. So she has no choice to be what she is. And then in that mission to go into the Dalek, she does start to realize she wants more of her life that's not war. So I love the fact she goes to the doctor. And it's kind of important for the doctor himself because of that prejudice he has against soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of that prejudice that bleeds into Danny Pink, which I think the doctor does get over. At least Capaldi's doctor gets over. It was just like in the moment she's introduced, you kind of see him at that full prejudice of it to where the Dalek, what do you call him, Skippy? He kind of mirrors that prejudice.
Rusty.
Yeah, he mirrors that prejudice that the doctor has.
Okay, so you're saying not Tin Dog.
I'd say Life's like that. I put her in there.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Next to Letitia Wright? Above Letitia Wright?
Above Letitia. Actually, above Ryan's dad.
Okay.
Actually, that's me. Yeah. Yeah, above Ryan's dad. Because she had...
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say above Ryan's dad because I thought it was a stronger impression. At least she had a stronger arc in one episode compared to Ryan's dad.
Okay. Speaking of Ryan's dad, Ryan's gran.
Oh, Grace.
I wanted her to be a companion.
A lot of people did.
Yeah.
There's such a missed opportunity. She's probably the best character out of the four, and she's the one that bites it.
Yeah.
And she was a great foil to both Graham and Ryan.
She would have worked so well with the doctor.
Yeah. And the fact that she was, even though she's like old, even though she's a grandmother, an elderly woman, she still had that youthful energy in her.
Yeah, much like the doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
Chibnall, you made a great character. Why kill her? Anyways, should we put him right next to Ryan?
Yes.
Yes, I would. Honestly, 100%.
Now, I don't remember the character's name. I apologize, but the astronaut guy from 10th Planet.
Yes.
I mean, not the first black man on the show.
Oh, shit.
What happened to you?
My chair broke. Well, the back end of my chair broke.
Oh.
Ouch.
Well, I definitely need a new chair now. Shit.
No kidding.
Life's like that.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Hold on, why is my mouse betraying me? Hold on. I was trying to get to this. Anyways, so second black person on the show, and an astronaut, a black astronaut in Doctor Who in the 60s, which in an episode taking place in the mid 80s. And I mean, by the way, I just deliberately decided not to put the first black person in the show on here because of what we talked about Ryan in the episode of how they just had him there just to be the guy that gets killed off, and it wasn't a very good showing for a black person on the show. But I will say this: the actor did have the birthday in the birthday section. I didn't have him in the birthday section.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I should bring it up because like I said, it wasn't a very good showing for the character. That's why I didn't have him both in the birthday section and on the list. But I might prefer having this guy on here, and this guy's contribution goes even further than just this character because the costume was then reused in Star Wars.
Oh, it's that character. Okay.
Yep. But be that as it may, I think the significance of the character outweighs his character in the episode. If it makes any sense.
Yeah. So he's not going to be too high up then.
You know what? Actually, I put him right next to the Faraya. Because, again, he wasn't in the episode that long.
Sure.
But still, significant.
Yeah.
Now, this is actually an interesting one. An interesting one because we got Mallory Blackman. Does it ring a bell?
No.
It does. I'm just trying to pull where.
She wrote the episode Rosa. And she got all the necessary awards for it too.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think that alone is significant enough. That's why I put her on here.
Okay. That was like, why are we having a writer on a show about characters?
Well, I mean, I had a couple of other writers and other contributors here as well, not just the characters.
I mean, yeah, it's done some great contributions, I guess.
Yeah, she wrote the best Jodie Whittaker era episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
but I would not know where to put her.
I'd say somewhere high on the local knowledge or somewhere on the greatest men in the galaxy.
I was thinking somewhere in that area. Possibly. Shit. No, that's a good one.
Oh wow, I stumped you.
Well, I'm really trying to figure it out. Maybe somewhere in the local knowledge one, because the fact that she is a writer after all.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, and she only wrote one episode. So next to Zach. Next Zach and Zebra.
yeah, that's a good spot. Actually, that is a very good spot.
Okay. So Black Lex Luthor. I mean Mr. Brock from The Return of Doctor Mysterio.
Well, technically, it's an alien occupying his brain, but
But he was kind of an asshole before that.
oh yeah, without a doubt.
Period.
I wouldn't have it too high up.
Honestly, he gets foiled in the end, though. So I mean, and then he's kind of treated as an afterthought with the doctors. So I'd put him in 10 dog.
Mhm.
All right.
I mean, because he's the one threatening them, and then once the bomb is taken away, he still has the gun at him, and he's like, "Oh, you think it's over?" The doctor just immediately just sonics the gun into malfunction.
Mhm.
So I put him right next to Daniel Barton. So we've got fake Elon Musk and fake Lex Luthor right next to each other. Okay. And now we're back to S tier territory with Clyde Langer. I mean,
Only
he's the
thing-
heart.
So
I know. What?
like once again, this is Sarah Jane. Only 2 episodes of Clyde, so this one's solely on you, man, for the S
Yeah,
tier.
me too. I've only seen the ones with the actual doctor in them.
Yeah, but I mean, I know the show's called the Sarah Jane Adventures, but Clyde's the heart and soul of the show.
Mhm.
So I would say,
I mean, I do know his reputation.
yeah, S tier above, definitely above Yaz, even above the Master, and I'm willing to push above Mickey,
Mhm.
but that's about as high as I want to go.
Mm,
Should we put him above Mickey?
Honestly,
Yeah.
man,
honestly, I wouldn't.
Okay. Okay, fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But what about Rosa Parks herself?
Mhm.
I mean, we talked about it often enough. It's the best Jodie Whittaker era episode,
Yep.
in my opinion. In my opinion,
No, I wouldn't argue against it.
but I mean, one of the most important historical characters on the show and in real life,
Mhm.
in modern, at least in modern history. So she's got to be pretty high up.
Oh, totally.
I'd say I'd say A tier, greatest man in the galaxy, greatest women in the galaxy.
I'd put her just below Bill.
But wow, that high. Okay, so
Just because
Ryan?
the only thing we have going against
Yeah, I'd say high A tier as well. Like either between Bill and Cherry or between Cherry and
Cherry is this woman.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, no.
Carla.
Carla. Sorry,
Yeah. I
Carla.
know, but I would put it between Bill and Carla because we still have more to come with Carla. Whereas we've got everything we need to know of this character, fully fleshed. Great, like
And
you
look-
said, great episode.
And this is not one of those cases where Vanette Robinson also had another character on this show, but you're just talking about Rosa
Yeah,
for now. Now, this character has a lot of missed opportunities, in my opinion. Captain Arisa Magumbo.
From Water. No, not Waters.
um,
It's one of the Big Ten specials.
Yeah, she was in Turn Left and Planet of the Dead. It looked like she was gonna be a major character, and then she wasn't.
no, which is
Yeah.
a bummer, but what can you
A
do?
bummer. She could have been she could have been the Martin series' version of the Brigadier, but cut short, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah, she definitely had some potential, but the fact that the actor that plays the scientist, I recognize him from a lot of TV shows. It did seem because those two really felt like a 1-2 punch together.
I
But
think
even
he
her-
also
even
had a
her
birthday
herself-
this week
herself.
or last week.
Yeah.
So,
I would probably put mid to low in Greatest Men in the Galaxy as my highest. I would be comfortable with that character.
Yeah.
I would put her at the bottom of Greatest Man in the Galaxy.
Works for me.
Ryan?
Yeah. She's still. It's still it's a good position for her.
Okay. Not high enough. Okay, now this is another one of the behind the scenes ones. Sagan Akinoa. He
Another
was
writer.
no, he's the composer for the Chibnall era.
Oh, okay.
He was Murray Gold's replacement as composer.
That was a pretty tall task.
And huge shoes to fill. Of course,
Yep.
I mean, he was composer for 5 years, 3 series. But here's the thing, though: his music never really popped out to me. I mean, his music is good. It's not Doctor Who good.
Yeah, Murray Gold set too high of a fucking bar.
Yeah, but even then, I actually did like the theme for
Mhm.
Jody's Doctor. So
I like that too. I like the Spyfall theme,
yeah,
but his Cyberman theme is it doesn't feel Cybermenish to me.
Yeah,
And neither does his Dalek theme. They feel too similar to each other. So even if you go back to some of the classic era composers like Dudley Simpson, Peter Howell, and whatnot, you can recognize the monster based on the music. Like you hear a couple of bars, and you can recognize the episode or the moment. Can't say the same about Sagan, aside from just the Doctor's Jodie Whittaker's theme, which I love the inclusion of that at the end during the regeneration scene, but he only has a few good tracks under his belt, where Dudley Simpson and Murray Gold have a lot more. Is what I'm saying.
all right.
all right.
But I mean,
Maybe I guess with that entail, maybe put her local knowledge somewhere, maybe in the lower tier.
Yeah,
whoop, something just opened up on my screen.
Like lower end, like right there, underneath the
The Ringmaster. Okay, so did I not upload this picture as well? I'm sorry. This is just getting way too long. There they are. Oh, great. We can't.
You can't add any more.
Yeah, I just deleted a picture, so let's see if we can upload it now. There we go. So Yaz's grandmother and her husband, her first husband.
Yeah.
It's a good episode. I like it. I did the mistake of actually watching it at work and then started crying as soon as the episode ended and actually had to get back to work after that. So you can imagine how my day went that day. But be that as it may, I still think it was a really good episode. I mean, it's a one-off. And it's another one of those cases where a companion goes back in time and revisits her old history, her family history. But I feel like it was a well-made episode by the end.
I did not see it.
Ugh. You disappoint.
It is a good episode, honestly, and I do like. It's also another point of I won't say a historical episode, but it does take place during a historical period, and it really is telling a good story between. I mean, Yaz wanting to find out more about her grandma, but also just like the kind of person her who would have been her potential grandfather was with her with her grandma's first husband. And I even like in that episode, he stands by he stands by pretty much like not freedoms, but like the whole thing with the country like going apart on itself. I like the fact he's able to stand by like what he says to where he's confronting his own countrymen. He dies for it, but
his own brother.
Yeah, his own brother. But I still appreciate that he wasn't willing to let other people die for it.
Yeah. Stands by his morals.
Yes, that's one thing. Yeah, his morals, his refusal to take up weapons. I mean, when he thought there was demons, that was a difference. But when he started realizing that his own people were being kind of were taking up arms, he saw there was a problem there, and not only taking up arms, but causing division amongst themselves.
Yeah, it's like we learned nothing from the war.
Exactly.
So I would put him here, I think. Look at that, we got a nice little family section right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's actually a good spot.
Okay, so Ram Singh from Class again. I think he's one of the two standout characters of that show. And I'm alone here because I'm the only one who watched the series.
Yep.
But yeah, he's definitely high up for me. He's one of my favorites of that series. He is an A tier for me, and I would put him above Danny Pink and even above Ryan. You know, let's not separate Ryan from his grandmother again. Let's put him right there.
Okay then.
Okay. Finally, something both of you can contribute.
Yeah.
Rose Noble.
Rosa. Rose. Not Rosa. Rose. Jesus Christ.
Close enough.
I like her a lot. I hope we're definitely gonna get more of her.
Yes, because they made a big media storm about her being the first trans companion, and she was barely in the specials. I wish she was at least in the giggle beyond just that scene at the end. That's my thoughts. Really good character, a lot of potential. She needed more time.
That's what I felt. Yeah, especially after and I did say more about her when we talked about her. But I personally thought that after the reveal that she inherited the meta crisis, I really would have loved to have seen her truly adjusting. Now, because with the meta crisis, it really was affecting everything in her life, from her choices, from her own dreams. Like, I really would have loved to have seen. I want to say maybe, but it really did feel like for the first time she can truly make her own choices without something influencing her.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
She took it way better than I ever would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, knowing for the rest of her life, knowing her whole life, she's had constant internal conflict and living in confusion and self-doubt caused by
Yeah.
something that unfortunately her mom had, and it's not even Donna's fault. Honestly,
Yeah, exactly. It's nobody's fault, but still.
She was a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, there's circumstance.
I mean, who knows? Maybe if that's why I didn't like the fact there was 3 specials. I'm like, maybe if we had gotten more specials,
Yeah.
we could have. There could have been some exploration there.
Maybe.
I'd put her right next to Bill.
Oh yeah, I'm good with that. Just below Bill because she has more to come than Bill does.
Yep. More to build on.
Nah.
Queen Nefertiti
Huh.
From which
from the
episode?
Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we are counting the Doctor Who character, not the actual real Queen Nefertiti.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, because, with some of these characters, we kind of do have to make that clarification.
Yeah.
But I like her. She's fine.
I like you too.
At this point, we're so far into our ranking list that people don't realize this is something regarding a Doctor Who. You're like, we're what, 2.5, 3 hours in? That's kind of on them. if they
Yeah,
don't-
yeah.
All right. So where on the local knowledge are we placing her?
Probably in the middle.
Yeah, I'd say the middle as well.
Right next to the other two historicals.
Yeah, right there.
No,
No?
I'd put her at least right above Jeffrey, not next to Martin.
Okay. Fair is fair. Okay, so the reason the person we named local knowledge after, local knowledge himself, Riggsy.
Yes. Now he's from the episode where the TARDIS shrinks, right?
Yeah, flat
Yes,
line.
and he
Yes,
also
yeah.
comes back in that episode with Maisie Williams' character in the street that
Yes.
Ryan hates.
Is it his? monster?
I'm getting a feeling you don't want to talk about this episode anymore. Again, Ryan.
No, it's not that I don't want to talk about the episode anymore. I just like he's not. I rank him higher than local knowledge.
Yeah,
Ironically, me too, because
I'm good
he's
with
a,
that.
really good, he's a really good character and another one of those who could have contributed more if he had more screen time.
Hmm.
So, you know what? I'd put him right next to the captain, Arisa Magambo. Less lower than Tanya because she had her own series, so you can't really compare too much.
Okay.
I think right there is a good spot
Okay.
for him. Okay, now this is another novel character that later appeared in Big Finish, but this is another one of those cases where we're counting the actress.
Okay.
And this is Roz Forrester. I'm using the picture is Roz Forrester from the Big Finish adaptation of the New Adventures novels, but she was played by Yasmin Bannerman, who played a lot of characters on Big Finish, including, well, she also played on Doctor Who. She played the tree in The End of the World, and she,
Oh, the princess.
Oh yeah. Okay.
yeah, and she played similar characters to the tree in the New Earth box set on Big Finish. And let me just, while you're talking about the tree, I'm going to look up some more stuff that she did on Big Finish because she has a bunch of interesting stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I remember her as the tree. That's really about it. That's not one of my most favorite episodes.
Not one of your favorite episodes?
It's not one of my favorite episodes. No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, comically, it's definitely out there.
Oh, totally.
Let's see, what else did she do? There's the novel adaptations, Seventh Doctor Adventures. Yeah, there's Jabe the Tree. She was in a Torchwood episode. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Oh, and she was in that episode on Peladon where Aramem married the king. That's interesting.
Hmm.
Okay, so I am not very memorable other Big Finishes besides that one tree that she did on the Big Finish thing. Some local knowledge then. I mean, I think the fact that she was a companion, she played a version of a companion. Let's put her above Cyril Neary. What?
And-
Oh, yeah. What version of Companion again?
A companion of the novels adapted
Okay.
into Big Finish.
Okay. Yeah, not read the novel. I only know her from her appearance as Jade, so yeah, I would put her
Yeah,
on local
same here.
knowledge.
Okay. Back to the Noble family with Sean Temple.
Ah, yes.
I'm glad they brought him back for the 60th. I
Ditto.
wasn't sure they would, but they did. And that's great. I like that.
I like how they used him as a guy who filled in the gaps, not just for the Doctor, but for the audience. So what happened in the between the-
Previously on Donna's life.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I like his character more in the specials than in the End of Time because he wasn't really there that
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
Well, I mean, his character wasn't meant to be important in the End of Time because it was all about Donna.
Well, it was all about the Master. Even Donna was kind of an afterthought.
But still, look, I'm not sure about an afterthought. It was just more like Donna was there. I mean, it was more focused on Wilf and Donna, honestly, in that moment than it was with Sean. But
Mm.
even then, the fact that he's still around, especially after the decision that Donna made to give up all her money,
Yeah,
that
no
was
kidding.
like,
Dear God. Did not expect that.
yeah. And even though I hated how it was too. Like, it was kind of ridiculous the way that Russell wrote it. But that's something for another time.
That's for another episode.
Probably. I'd say A tier, but not
Yeah.
too high.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for the specials, I would not agree to that, but I do agree.
Somewhere here.
Not
But-
just that, he rolls with the punches. Honestly, during the Star Beast episode, and and even though he has every right to question what the hell's going on, his main focus during the entire episode was Donna and Rose.
He must have seen some weird stuff in the interim.
I'd say put him right.
Yeah, I
above-
don't think anyone's minds were erased from the End of Time. No one could forget. I don't think the Doctor is anyone's mind when the big fucking planet of Gallifrey showed up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole planet seen it, and the whole planet basically became the Master for a few hours.
Mhm.
So, hard to erase that. Okay, back to Sarah Jane, Kelsey, the annoying character from the first episode that never showed up again.
Tin Dog.
I think, yeah, that's pretty obvious.
Never saw that pilot. So.
Me neither.
I think just because how annoying she was, I'm going to put her at the bottom. She was even more annoying than the Naismiths because they actually served a purpose.
Yeah.
Why was this character even in the episode? Especially when we got a much better character in Clyde the following episode. Anyway, speaking of Clyde, Ronnie Chandra. I mean, this is
Wait,
another.
didn't we do already? But then I remember the birthday segment.
Yeah, it was in the birthday segment, not in this part of the thing. So, I mean, she's an S.
Yeah,
Right.
That's all on you as well, man. But I won't say no. Definitely.
I know more of her on Reputation, so I agree with that.
She came in season 2 of the Sarah Jane Adventures, but she really became her own character, and she's now leading the Sarah Jane continuation on Big Finish with Ronnie Chandra Takes on the World. So she's got to be an S.
Interesting.
And you know what? Hear me out. Okay, hear me out. I'm going to put her right here next to Clyde, which was kind of her will they, won't they couple on the show, but right next to her actual real world husband, Sasha Dewan.
That's right.
Did they really did that with her and Clyde on the show.
They hint. I mean, again, they were children, rather they were playing children, but it was kind of a will they, won't they situation. Sort of.
That's right. I forgot she was married to Sasha Dewan. I knew he was married to someone from the extended universe.
Yeah, and not just extended universe. I mean, she did appear in Doctor Who proper as the Skithra Queen from the Nikola Tesla episode.
Okay.
All right. Now, this next character is someone we will only be referring to as not Barack Obama.
I mean, obviously, Tin Dog, because he was just there for cultural references.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. Cool. So.
Yeah, even though he's not Barack Obama, I remember at the end of time when they do that whole thing, they do a voiceover of an Obama impression.
Yeah.
So,
He was just basically standing from the back.
yeah.
I think that was recording from a speech the real Obama made.
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that what you said, Ryan?
Oh, I
It
said,
is. It
I
is
said a
recorded.
voice. Well, I said a voiceover of an impression, but if it really was just a recording, then okay. Either way, it was still meant to be Obama for the culture reference.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, totally. Which
And to keep it modern. You'd be like, oh, Doctor Who is in the modern world because we have the actual the American president in this.
it does. It definitely does do that, but it also dates it at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Doctor Who's is got to be relevant for whatever's happening at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Unlike in the 70s, when the Brigadier casually mentions that there's a female president about a decade before Margaret Thatcher. Okay, I'm not sure about this guy. Tebow.
Isn't that Ryan's friend?
Yes, that's him.
Oh, well. All right, sure.
That's why I put him on here because he had a very interesting introspect about him when we did the episode. So
I put him above. He's definitely not Tin Dog because he is important in Ryan's story, especially in that episode with the gods and the dreams. So
I'd say
looks like life, honestly. Life like that. Sorry, life is like that. That's where I put him
because he actually affected a companion. I'm putting him above the weakest link guy.
Okay.
Now,
that's a good point. That's a good space.
Yeah. The General, after she regenerated from the male guy.
Unfortunately, this one is Tin Dog.
You really?
Because not only the fact that she regenerates after the General, it's the follow-up line. Like back to normal. Oh, what do you do with all that testosterone? Like it was pretty much like Steven. It was a stupid line written to try to be like, I don't know what it was, but it came off as a pandering line. It was meant to be. It was pandering.
Okay.
All right. To be fair, she didn't do anything too significant in the episode after that.
Well, so yeah. It was more like it was a waste of regeneration, personally. Like, even if the General didn't regenerate and the Doctor just wounded him, you'd still have that same interaction in that nothing changed. So,
true.
Yeah.
She didn't need to be there, is what you're saying.
Yeah, if the General would have regenerated her, it would have been something a little better in the episode. Or maybe brought back later on when, I don't know, maybe she leads some agents in Gallifrey to kidnap the Doctor. I mean, to go after the Doctor again during like his run with Bill. But the fact that Gallifrey is no more after, well, at least in series 12, at least in series 12, it's not mentioned. You don't go there. It's not even important for Capaldi's Doctor. It doesn't come back until series 9. It's not mentioned in series 10. It only comes back in series 12 when it's destroyed. So, yeah, I think it was a waste.
And if the General was her job was to keep Gallifrey safe, and look what a mess she made of that.
Totally fair.
So, yeah. Personally, I much prefer the male person that as the general, especially in Big Finish, whatever. Okay, so this next one is another one for. It's another character you had a big rant about, Ryan
Oh boy.
Rex.
Well, not much. Well, less of a rant, but kind of a tirade, honestly.
Where's he from?
He's from the Torchwood
That's
Miracle
season we
Day.
do not talk
Okay,
about.
yeah, I haven't seen that one.
I know you had an issue with him, 50, but to me,
I had an issue with the season, not him.
Oh.
He's fine.
Oh.
I like him.
yeah, my tirade was mainly towards some of the comments and the reaction towards his character. To me, his character perfectly made sense in the season. It was just kind of like I get people wanting more focus on Jack and Gwen, but let's be honest. After Children of Earth, they were the only two people left standing, and Torch was practically dead in the ground. So who else were they going to like focus on? Because the season itself was being very dodgy with Jack. They were focusing on so many other angles. Like they were really trying to. I understand the season was really trying to focus on this widespread phenomenon of people not dying. But even then, Rex's character, I still think he's a good addition. Like, kind of wanted to see where he would go, but that's what happens. Oh shit! Drop something.
It's a, and I'll say it again. It's a shame that we never got to see what happened after the fact. Like to me, I think it would have been perfect if Torch would just ended after Children of Earth. I don't understand why they made that other season. But the way I don't know, this season was just weird. I think the last season was redundant, but the way they ended with his character, I want to know what happened to his character, and now we can't because the show got canceled again.
Yeah,
and maybe he'll pop up again, but that's a huge stretch.
it honestly is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, I think because he was basically a Torchwood member for a full season, it bumps him up to A, but where?
Honestly, I'd put under the general. I'd put him low end. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, works for me.
And I'm sorry because I forgot the guy's name. Give me a
What guy? The next person coming up?
yeah. Can you give me a second. Louis Mahoney. Louis or Lewis, I'm apologizing. Louis Mahoney. I mean, he was the old Billy Shipton from Blink.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay.
But he also had two other roles in the classic series. So that's why I included a picture of the actor, not the character. So he's got that character going for him. He was the newscaster in Frontier in Space, and he was this guy called Ponty in the Planet of Evil. Now, of the three, easily his most memorable character is the guy from Blink. It's a very sad moment, of course. It's a nice, interesting scene of him here in Frontier in Space, but in Planet of Evil, it's a complete wash. He's just there as one of the grunts, and he falls down a pit. He's literally a red shirt.
Yeah.
Guy. So what do we think about the actor? Where are we putting him?
Let's see.
Probably middle tier again.
Middle tier?
Yeah, I would probably put him in like local knowledge. Exactly like where along there is the like maybe in the middle of the middle.
The thing is that this tier is just so big now. What is considered middle anymore?
Well, yeah. That's the
Okay.
thing when there's a lot of characters like this, especially one-offs and stuff.
Should we put him next to the Ringmaster?
Yeah, the Ringmaster works. Honestly, it's a good spot.
Okay.
Okay. This character probably is gonna get a lot of attention, but again, I love him. He's one of the reasons that episode works so well. Toberman. Now I get the criticism about him in the episode, but I like him. I like him. He's a good character, and me and Ryan had an interesting talk about him when we did the episode about the thing, about all the classic characters. So I'm gonna say, well, if Snark were here, you'd agree with me about this guy. But I'm gonna say here, not too high, not too low.
That's a good position. It is.
Yeah. Now, Clyde's dad, who showed up, and he had like one episode dedicated just for him, about the story about how he left off to Germany with his mom's sister. Sorry, with Clyde's mom's sister, not his mom.
Yeah, that'd be a little weird.
Yeah, and he came back with this, and somehow he stumbled upon this weird Viking amulet that made him give him the ability to control people and tell them what to do. And he starts abusing power. Yeah, that's the mark on his hand.
Okay.
Like the talisman that sort of gives you the mark on your hand, changes your eye color, and gives you these weird popping veins things.
I'll be damned.
Like, I think he's a good character, a good villain character, and especially for the character development that he had for Clyde at the end. But other than that, not very remarkable. So I'd say put him right next to Tebow, right next to Ryan's friend.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not much to say, honestly, because could not fucking watch Sarah Jane Chronicles.
Yeah, it's still hard to find over here unless you buy it on iTunes or something like that.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Probably shouldn't have even included this character on. Valerie from the 11th Doctor Big Finish series.
So I'm not going to lie. Seeing the little thumbnail on the list here, it looks like the Wish version of Black Widow.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Look, man,
I got nothing to say on that.
Me too. Me neither. I mean, I'm curious to get more 11th Doctor stuff on Big Finish. I wish it was actually Matt Smith, but I mean, Jacob Dudman does a pretty spot on impression. But for all intents and purposes, Tin Dog.
Well, I know you guys are near the end here, but unfortunately, I do have to jump out.
Okay.
Okay.
So I appreciate it. Thanks for bringing me on here, 50.
You want to say plugs?
Plugs? Well, yeah, I'll do a quick plug before I go. If anyone listening, anyone out there are fans of pro wrestling, I do have a podcast I co-host with my friends James Shimo, Brenton McPherson on the Shimo Media Network. It's called Wrestling Ramblings and Rages. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and we do even have a few episodes on iHeartRadio and Radio Public. So go and check those out. We are definitely recording brand new episodes, so they may not come out as frequently, but we at least get at least 2 or 3 out for every month.
Right on.
Right on. Now, thank you for coming.
Thank you, and I definitely gotta go. You guys have a good one.
You too, man. We'll see you later.
Bye.
All right. Well, yeah,
And,
we're almost at the end.
Yeah, we're right at the very end, right at the very home stretch. So what do you think of the Van Balen siblings?
Yes.
I'm sure you're gonna say Van Balen.
Yes, they are the one. Yeah, what was it? They're the ones who are hiding something from the one brother, right?
Yeah, they were lying to him, saying to him that he was an android.
He's an android, but in reality, something happened to him, and
yeah, and he lost his memory.
yeah. Yeah, man, that was a good episode. What doctor was that again? That was Smith. Yeah. That was a good episode. I would put them probably at the lower end of greatest men in the whatever the second tier is.
Really, because
I like
I don't. They lied to their brother in the cruelest way possible.
that's what makes them good. That's
And
what
they
makes them
try to
good.
take the TARDIS apart.
Look at the episode. I love the episode. That's probably why I'm confusing it by saying I love them. It's because I love the episode.
Yeah. But I mean, they're kind of assholes.
Totally.
So I mean, if you want to put them high, I'll
Where are you thinking of having them?
I was gonna put them close to the bottom because I mean they're bad people to their own brother, but since you're going high,
Okay. Well, how about we compromise? Very bottom of local knowledge.
that's fair.
Okay. No, like literally the last one.
The last, okay,
You have them so low,
okay, cool.
and because they'd lied to their brother.
Yeah, and they try to take apart the TARDIS
Yeah.
after the Doctor told them multiple times not to do it. Now, Rosita from the next Doctor.
Yeah, from that special.
I liked her.
I like her too. I thought she was a really good one-off companion. Well, a companion-ish.
Diet companion.
Yeah.
Companion light. I always say that she had Rose's name, Martha's skin color, and Donna's temperament.
Basically, she was very much an amalgamation of all three.
Yeah, that's why she was so perfect.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't mind having her too high up.
Me too. In fact, I would put her above Danny Pink.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Because fuck Danny Pink. You know. This is another one, the behind the scenes person, but I mean, you cannot have a list of the most influential people of color in Doctor Who without talking about Waris Hussein.
Yes, and he is the first director, correct?
First director of the show,
Yeah.
of an episode on the show.
Yeah, I could not remember.
Still alive, by the way, and looking good, but just saying.
Yeah, he still looks like he'd still do an episode.
Yeah, but and he's still very much keeping himself active with Doctor Who. But I mean, I think he's gonna go on S.
Oh, totally. Like
Without him, the show doesn't work.
He's proof that
In many
Doctor
ways.
Who's been woke since day one.
Yeah, you think Doctor Who's being too political now? How about this? First ever director, a closeted gay Indian immigrant.
Yeah.
Now, put that into perspective, people. Okay, so I'm gonna put him above Sasha Dewan.
Okay.
For the joke element, because Sasha Dewan played him in An Adventure in Space and Time.
That's right.
And it's scary how much these two look alike.
There is a resemblance, yeah.
Especially the young version. I mean,
Yeah.
this guy, not so much, but
Yeah.
him as a young man looks almost exactly like Sasha Dewan. So General Bambira, basically she was the Brigadier's replacement back in the 80s, and most likely would have continued on as the Brigadier's replacement if the show hadn't been canceled. But she came back for the Big Finish series. She did a couple of box sets before she passed away 2 years ago. But it's still pretty nice that we got another Brigadier. I mean, obviously you're never gonna replace the Brigadier. You're never gonna top Lethbridge Stewart.
No, there's only one.
But it's nice that they try to have a presence, a unique presence for the Doctor, someone to correspond with the Doctor, like her and like Captain Arissa Magambo. So
I'm gonna have to defer to you on this one though, because I don't know the character.
Yeah, I think we should just put both of them together.
Okay.
The two almost brigadier replacement, side by side with each other. And of course, you probably could tell there's a reason why I saved him for last. The Doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's an S because he's the freaking Doctor.
Yep.
And you know what? He's a very good one at that.
100%. Now the trick is where an S.
What?
Where an S.
I'm gonna go controversial here. He's not topping Martha.
No, God no, because okay, I'm good with that.
And I'm thinking again, because you only basically saw an episode and a half with him.
Yeah, more or less, episode in the third.
I'm gonna put him below the Fugitive Doctor.
Okay.
So yep, that's our list.
3.5 hours later.
Yeah.
2.5 for me.
But I mean, just looking at this list as a concept, I really like it, and I'm actually very proud of myself that I got to put a list like this together. Would have been a lot nicer if this stupid gap wasn't here.
Yeah,
But I mean that's the website. That's what it is. There's no stopping that. Yeah, we just did an episode where we counted the most influential and the most important people of color in Doctor Who, and that is how our wrap up of Doctor Who Black History Month.
Yeah,
and it's kind of weird that both of us are hiding Shorty Gutwa's eyes right now.
that's a little creepy.
Yeah, it's a very creepy image with
Yeah.
us on it. So why don't we just get through our plugs and get ourselves ready for the next topic
Yeah.
for next month.
So you can find me on personal Instagram and Twitter at soda_the_saxman, and as usual, doing my shenanigans here with 50.
And some of those shenanigans include Found with Flags, the show where we teach each other about each other's respective countries, usually every Thursday, if we can make it. But you can also check me out on this show, and I also talk even more Doctor Who on my own YouTube channel, 50 Shades of Geek. I do weekly reviews of every single Doctor Who episode from 1963 all the way to 2023, and I just uploaded a very belated ranking of all the second Doctor era episodes, something I should have done months ago, but war happened anyways. So thank you for watching. If you have, let us know how you would have ranked this list differently, and which characters do you think we left off and should have kept in here. And as always, until the next one, everybody, in the words of Missy herself,
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
goodbye.